This is 0xfiles. This is your host Sham. The truth is always out there. Last few videos, I think 2 videos, 3 videos, we mentioned a particular level that we need to get above, right? And hopefully test the 69K. We were talking about the 67,600. I did post something on Discord that, guys, look, that's the level we need to test. And it did kind of test it, got rejected, came back again. And we said, as soon as we go above that, we're going to be confirming the market is moving up. And right now you can see the market's definitely confirmed it, and it's now on the upper band at the $69,400 level. And this all happened within the last 30 minutes, right? So it's freaking brilliant, right? So those of you guys who are new to this channel, remember, the truth is always out there, right? I've never ever said anything that I've said like things are going to come and bite me back one day, right? But so far, when we're looking at the market, when we're looking at the structures of the market, when we're looking for patterns, the numbers haven't defeated us, right? The numbers haven't defeated us. So we've always been on top of the game, and God willing, we are going to be on top of this, right? And I'm not a much religious guy, but I am quite religious in some form or another. So it's freaking awesome to see these numbers come up and see those patterns play out exactly as it is. So if you are new to the channel, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, share with one other if you find value. We're on a mission to grow this channel to at least 5,000 subscribers for the beginning, and then obviously we want to move forward to around 10,000 subscribers. And when we do 10,000 subscribers, I have thought about creating a foundation, and I'll probably even monetize the video. And I thought about it quite hard actually, because listen guys, I've never ever wanted to monetize the videos and everything, because the channel is not monetized. The sole reason is I don't want any money from YouTube, right? It's small money. And even then, I don't want to do it for the money. I've never ever intended to do anything for money. So I thought, look, I don't have an intention to take any money. Why about this? Why don't I take all the money that YouTube pays me, right, when I monetize the channel, which I at this small scale, maybe 5,000, I'll do it. And then take that money and donate it back to the charity, right, that I'm about to start. So if anyone donates it, then every pound that's gone in there, I'm going to match it. Do you know what I mean? So it goes to a good cause. I think that's more important than anything else. It's not all about, oh, I want to do this full time and I want to make money and this and that. You know what I mean? I see Bubble here. Awesome, my brother. Nice to see you nice and early. I hope your problem that you were having with the commenting has been resolved or not. Bubble, if you are here, if you have the link to the video, can you please share it to the Discord community? That would be nice. Sound is not good today. Okay, let's check. Interesting. Yes. What about now? Is the sound any good now? Is the sound any good now? Let's find out. The sound is not great. Hold on. Is the sound good now? Please let me know if the sound is good. I've just reconnected the device, so I have a mic, so I've reconnected it. Let me know. Much better, thank you. It was just because I was charging at the same time. I think that's where it was interfering with the receiver. I think that's what the problem was. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So I'll kind of introduce myself again. Obviously the sound was bad. This is 0xfiles. My name is Sham. The truth is always out there. We make certain calls and those calls come along, right? So anyway, but we do add a flair of crypto, like with cryptocurrency. Obviously we talk about cryptocurrency. The sound is still bad even now. Let's have a look. Why is the sound bad? All right, stay there, I'm going to do something. Oh, now it's better. Okay, because if it's not, tell me guys, because I've got this is probably not charged enough. I've got another device, so I can always add that. If I have both of them, then you'll have stereo sound, right? It's freaking crazy. But anyway, if it is good now, that's great. So yeah, what I was saying was obviously this is crypto. We talk about cryptocurrency, the market. We'll talk about the market a little bit, right? And then of course, if there is any other theories and any other stuff you want me to talk about, ask me anything. We'll definitely talk about it, right? So let's drop the market here. I know a lot of you guys are here for the market. We talked about how the market, God knows what it was before. I can't even remember. It was just last night, actually, about 12, 13 hours ago. But anyway, the market right now is at $2.54 trillion. And I've been mentioning to everybody, I said, the market doesn't bother me, right? Market does not bother me at all. Is you have too much gain on the sound. Too much gain. Well, even now. Okay, is that better? So I've moved it down. Is that better, if that helps? Because I don't know how to activate the gains or anything on this actually. Let me see what I can do to improve the sound. Let's have a look. 1 second. So it does compression. This is compression from what I'm seeing. Okay, so it's clipping out. Okay, so let me try this. Okay, so this I think what happened was it wasn't that there was a lot of compression on it. So this has a button where the compression is fixed. So I think it should be fixed now. Not sure why, or probably it was because it was too close to me. That's why it was clipping. But I'm hoping it's fine now. Anyway, so let's drop the market here. So the market right now is sitting at $2.53 trillion. BTC sitting at 69,000. Coming down a little bit. It went to 69,400, but it dropped a little bit. That's fine. We are going to face these trouble because look, we're testing these higher levels that we need to get above. And I mentioned the Gaussian channel, and this is all to do with the Gaussian channel. Right now, it's trying to stay above the Gaussian channel, which is doing a fantastic job, by the way. I don't see any issues there. Compression is good, though not too much. Can you lower the inputs on the device? No, I can only go through different compression levels. So right now it's on compression 1. I'll cycle through it, then you'll understand what's going on. So this is compression level 1. This is compression level 2, because I see 2 clicks. That shows me compression level 2, and you might hear the audio a bit funny. This is compression level 3. So now the audio is going to give me a whole different compression. And then if I click once more, this is no compression. So absolutely 0 compression. If this is something you like, let me know. I'll keep it on no compression. So if that works, great. But it does pick up a lot of outdoor noise as well. So that's what it is. But let me know if this is okay. If this is not, then I can go back to compression 1, which is my default setting normally. So I may have pressed the button accidentally or whatever. Anyway, so what I was saying with the market kind of battling, this is no compression. So right now it has no compression, right? Yeah, what was I saying? So market is battling itself around the $69,000 level. Now that we've kind of come above the Gaussian channel, right? I talked about, what will happen is we need to print a green. So that means we have to wait for tomorrow to print a green, right? However, in the meantime, it could always also be the network connection issues. Probably the network. I mean, if it is the network, then guess what? I'll sort the network out right now. Give me a second. Let's sort this network out right now, because I know where I am parked up could be a situation. So why not? Like, let's move ourselves, get out of wherever the issue was. Maybe it was just the location. I am in Hampstead, by the way, guys. This is Hampstead, London, Hampstead suburb. The network's not that great, but I do know if I park around here, it should be fine, because I don't have any metal interference. Maybe this kind of, right, I'm in the car, the engine started, that doesn't matter. So hope this kind of solves the problem. And I am going to go back to compression 1, because I do know that I am going to go back to compression 1, because I do know that that kind of does also affect it anyway. So let's talk about the market right now. Hopefully the audio is sorted out. Let's talk about the markets right now. So as my man solved the connection is easily. Awesome, thank you very much. We're doing it live, guys. We're doing it live, right? Why not? How many YouTubers do you know that will solve problems on a live stream, right? You know, they're all preset, green screens, whatever, and oh man, studio stuff, nonsense. So yeah, they spend a lot of time on all that stuff. Look at us, we're dealing with it. I mean, as I said, I've got another one here. I'll happily start another one if I have to, because I do have a pair here. So if I have to, I'll just put another one on. It doesn't matter, as long as it's solved, it's okay. Right, so market. So what I was saying, right, let's get back into this, right? We're messing with the flow of this whole stream, but why not? I see KI, also my brother. What was I saying? So BTC, right? Obviously, we need to test that $69,000 level. We have, and we've kind of now invalidated the Gaussian channel bearishness, and now we should print a green. But we need tomorrow to identify the green, not today. It won't happen today, right? So we know that as a fact. But what we do also know that we do have a resistance, and we've kind of entered the resistance. So I think you're still having audio issues, right? I'll try the different one, right? I'll try both of them. Now, let's see. Right, here you go. I got a different one. Now let me pop this one here. Let's pop this one here. I don't know. Now you're getting stereo sound, guys. Now you're getting stereo, right? I don't know what's going to happen to the audio right now, but you've got two connected at the same time. Still bad. I don't know what's going on then. I can't tell you. In fact, hold on. Let me just check how bad it is. Right? I'll do something to check how bad it is. 1 second. Right, I've switched that one off. I'm going to check how bad it is by playing the video here right now. Give me a second. Give me a second. It should be interesting, right? Me streaming myself while I'm on the live. This should be very interesting. Let's see how this comes up. So me, where is it? Where is it? I'm streaming myself. I'm going to hear this right now. So I want to see how this whole thing comes up live. Huh? This is funny. I can't see myself. This is weird. I just don't understand how this works. So I'm here right now, but I can't see myself. Let's try searching for myself. I'm going to search myself. Oh, there it is. Let's see how this audio comes up. Good, bad. I'm going to search myself. Oh, there it is. Audio's not bad. Let's see how this audio's not bad. By the way, I do have a microphone. This microphone is working. So there is one microphone is connected. So I'm not sure why it's clipping. Here, I'm not clipping at all. I can hear myself. By the way, I do have a microphone. This microphone is working. So there is one microphone is connected. So I'm not sure why it's clipping. Here, I'm not clipping at all. I can hear myself. Yeah, I do. Okay, I do get it. There is a little bit of clip. I'm not sure why it's clipping. God knows what it is. I see Pothead here, also my brother. I'm not sure what it is. We'll figure it out, you know, guys. I'm gonna, do you know what? We talk about making coffee money. Do you know what now I need to do? I need to go and make some microphone money. Probably I need to go and buy myself some Rode Wireless Go or whatever, right? Some of those expensive wireless ones. Because I don't use expensive stuff, guys. I'm not that fussed. I'm not materialistic. I've told you so many times. I'm not all about wow. You know, got all these equipment at home and I don't see any reason why I'm using those. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna start. I'm gonna do a fundraiser. We're gonna start raising funds to go and buy a Rode Wireless Go. How about that, right? So anyway, let's not talk about this. Get back into the flow, guys. Get back into the flow, right? So the market, obviously, right now we're back at $69,100, right? This is going to be the most interesting, hilarious live stream ever. And by the way, guys, did you know that you guys could actually clip these videos and like create clippings and share it on your channels or whatever, or other people, and those clips can actually probably go viral. You never know, right? Wow. Okay. Yes. All right. This is the first time I'm seeing transmission is unstable due to weak network connection. Interesting. So this is the first time I've seen a bad network connection. Wow. This is crazy. All right. Okay. So I did get a message saying some bad network connection. Don't know why. Maybe I have to drive off again, right? But if I have to, I will drive off again. I'll find another location, go to a better location, right? I know Hampstead is not the best. Anyway, back into the flow, right? Back into the flow. Let's get into the flow and do this video all over again, right? So guys, yeah, I just had a message that wasn't coming up before. The app was giving me a message, so definitely was a weak connection. Also, what I can see is I've got 4G connection, but I'm in a 5G area. Do you know what I'm going to do? Right, guys, stay with me. Let's do this, right? Let's do this. Let's hope this, yeah, the audio should be fine. Let's do this, right? Why not? And you let me know when the audio becomes good or when the stream becomes good, right? Because right now I'm just driving through some roadworks. Let's see, right? Hopefully this will solve the issue, right? Because I'm on a 5G area. I'm back in 5G now, so this is good. So I can see 5G, so this is good. So let me find a nice little spot where I can park up without killing a motorcyclist. Let's do this. Freaking crazy stuff, right? So I'm going to park here. I just found a nice little parking. I'll just park here and hopefully this will resolve the issue, right? This will resolve the issue. Right. Let's do this. There we go, guys. Always here. I'm in a 5G location now. The network shouldn't be an issue at all. And hopefully we should all be good. Right, so let's do this, right? Okay, so we've got $69,000 on the market. So I'm going to jump straight into the thing before anything else happens. This is, as I said, this is one of the craziest live streams we've ever did. And why not, right? Why not? This is the place of crazy stuff, right? Crazy theories, crazy things. Why not? So market sitting at $69,000 right now. And this is the point I'm trying to make, right? So we do have a resistance that we've entered. So this is a resistance zone, price zone we've entered. And ideally, we want to get above $70,000.94. It's a very specific number, but let's just say $70,000 for now. If we can tap $70,000 and close a candle above that, even if it's a 1 hour candle, then guys, we're off to the races again, right? There's no holding us back. Market will react to that, right? But good news is that 67,600 was the trend reversal candle confirmation, and that has happened. And I would love to see us stay above that, right? Still someone's internet. I don't have to, bro. You know where I am? So you know how 5G work, right? You have to point towards it. There's a lot of 5G antennas here. And believe it or not, I get some serious speeds. I get like gigabit speeds. I'm talking like 1,000 megabits, right? Compared to my home internet, which is wired. The fiber optics, I get better internet on my phone. Sometimes when I'm at home, family members and everything, because my phone's always on hotspot, they'll just switch off the home thing and they'll just jump onto my phone and use that as their internet because it's so good, right? And plus my car is non-stop connected to it. That's the reason why I have my hotspot on. It's non-stop connected and I don't have a lag or any issues at all. Whatever lags you see is the same as everybody else, and I watch everything on 4K, no issues at all. So yeah, I do use some serious data, but you know, I've got a nice data, why not? So if we can get above the $70,000 right now, that is a major resistance area for us, then super solid, right? But it doesn't matter even if we don't, and we do stay above the 67,600, right, which was the trend reversal, and we close above that, we're still okay. So that's all I wanted to say to everybody, that understand, guys, we're still okay, right? I'm going to move over to another chart. So Ethereum, as I said, will react as long as BTC reacts. Ethereum hasn't come out of the trend yet, but we should see a bigger, better performance if the BTC market is moving forward anyway. So that's how we're going to see. We talked about Solana, and Solana, we did have a level that we had to get above in order to kind of invalidate the trend, and we've done that. We're now tapping the upper level of the Gaussian channel. Hopefully we should break through, and that was the 192. I said about 190. We've gone past that. This is a good thing, but we need to close a candle above approximately 195. Approximately 195. That would then give us a confirmation that that's how we're moving forward. So this is all I can say for now from what I'm looking at, when I look at the chart, what I see. So this is the charts, guys. So until then, we might see a little bit of volatility. I wouldn't panic too much about it, to be honest. Volatilities are good, right? That means we're alive and kicking, right? We're alive and kicking. We're not just going one direction. Now going up and down, testing supports and resistance. So, of course, I'm going to read some of the chats. We've had some crazy stuff here, right? So the connection seems to be fine now. So definitely, I think it was an internet issue that's been resolved now. I don't think it was a microphone, because the microphone's usually on a predefined setting. So I didn't realize what was going on. So that clipping that you saw probably was to do with the actual internet connection, because it was on 4G. Bubble says, oh, it's good. Pothead gives me thumbs up. Sound overdrive again. Bubble said sound is good. I'm just joking. I was just joking. My microphones are great, by the way. These are one of the best microphones that I found. Simple, they're easy, they're ready when you want. And one charge gives me around 6 hours, and I got two. So that means I can flip them through when I'm on a stream anytime. And it's very low power consumption as well. So I can actually just have a continuous 12-hour stream with you guys if I really wanted to. Right? According to the paper, I could do 12-hour streams with two microphones without any effect. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely fine. And the quality, I do like the sound quality. I think it's quite good as well. But I think that was definitely more network related than anything else. So yeah, please don't contribute anything. I don't need any of that. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So Maxim says, I told you. Yes, you did. Thank you very much for that. If you're right now in the center of the city, too many devices using traffic. I'm not in the center of the city. So Hampstead is a suburb, it's outskirts of London. It's more like a village in London. So I am in central London, but I'm not in the center of London. I'm more in the outskirts, the lovely houses area. There's no tower blocks, nothing around here. There's just houses, you know, the more expensive area, let's just say that. All right, that's where I am, right? Actually, just not far from my home. I was on my way home, so that's that. Maxim says, I'm always here. I will not really always, but often. Good, awesome. Listen, we're we're all here, and we need to support each other. That's the most important thing, right? But more support is moral support, and helping each other understand things that might not make sense. That's what we're here for. That's what I do. So when I come and talk about crypto, I'm only trying to help people who are confused or who are lost, right? And I'm trying to say, guys, understand that. Don't fall into the hypes, and don't fall for the FOMOs and this and that, or the news or the narratives. Think with a clear head and move forward, because this is for you. This is the journey you're on, right? Obviously, it's a journey I'm also on as well. So it's a journey that we're all going to take together. Pothead says, stream is fine. Sound has a little crackle every now and then, but not too bad. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, crackle, I don't know what it is. We can probably sort it out at some stage, at some point. In fact, I'm going to do one thing. Maybe that might help the crackle. Let's try and see if that works. Okay, I think this could possibly solve the issue. So if you are still here, guys, continue. If there are any questions, please let me know. I've done my part. I wanted to talk about BTC and crypto. Now, well, there is one thing actually I want to talk about, right? So earlier on today, Max, right, not long ago, he forwarded a lovely video and an article about a theory, and I can't pronounce the name, so I'm just going to call it the tennis racket theory, right? That's what it was. And I thought it was quite fascinating because he has a point of view, and I respect his point of view. And it is connected to many other things. We talked about a video yesterday. We said like how sometimes you look at like the Adam and Eve video that I did, right? Or the audio book that I did, which now has a copyright on it, funnily. But I pointed out a few bits and bobs. Crackle is gone. Crackle is gone. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, awesome. Right. So well, I did the Adam and Eve cataclysm thing, right? And that's got a bit of conspiracy theory on it. Okay. I can't pronounce it, Maxim. I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to even bother. I'm just going to call it the tennis racket theory, right? But let's talk about this, right? Because it is kind of connected to the Adam and Eve audiobook that I've published, right? Now, the Adam and Eve audiobook that I've published, a lot of people might be a bit all iffy about it. Oh, Adam and Eve, this guy's trying to add conspiracy theories to it and this and that. No, guys, listen. This is Chan Thomas is an author. And you go and look at his biography, go and look at what he's done. He's actually worked for Douglas something aeronautics or whatever. He's actually worked for them. So these are government agencies. He's worked for them. But none of that matters. He wrote a book. He was born in 1920, died in 1998. Again, none of that matters, right? He's mentioning a few other authors back in the past, right? None of that also matters. What matters is, why was the book censored? Why was the book censored? That's what matters. And then when it was uncensored or declassified, right, in 2013, remember the guy passed away in 1998. The book was declassified in 2013 by the CIA, right? And they call it the what's it called? Sanitized version. What did they sanitize? That's the question I'm asking, right? Nothing else. I'm not saying anything. It doesn't matter. The book could be completely fiction for all I care. But why would you take a book and then sanitize it in a way where now when someone reads it, it's confusing? There's no reference points. There's nothing like, oh, this guy's just talking garbage, right? Because that's how it's been presented, right? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, why? Ask the question, why? So he comes up with these random theories and nothing is connected, but everything is connected if you look at it in a conspiracy mind. And it makes sense, right, to some people. So that's what I saw. And then obviously, you know, I'm connecting all sorts of other stuff because I do believe in the ancient alien theory, right? I've talked about it many times and I'm very open about it, right? And whether he talks about it with Adam and Eve or whether he talks about it with Jesus or whatever, doesn't matter. None of this matters, right? What matters is, why did the CIA take that? Because they didn't take any of the other books that he was mentioning. They didn't take any of the other authors, any of the other numbers. They haven't sanitized those. Why did you take his book and sanitize it? That's all I'm asking, nothing else. It's a simple question, right? You know, maybe we should start being curious and we should start asking questions. Why? That's all I'm saying, nothing else. So maybe he was onto something. Maybe he had some reference points that he could have proved what he was saying. Summarize the theory. So his theory, you can't summarize it. This is crazy, right? So I would ideally say you should, if you do get the time, listen to the audiobook. It is freaking awesome. But what you'll find, and this is what I'm going to summarize here, right? What you'll find is he doesn't have a continuous story. He talks about things like different parts of the world and different cataclysms. So he's talking about 7 cataclysms that happened, right? And these are like where we've had, for example, the Ice Age, you know, a massive tsunami, stuff like this, right? Where the whole planet was changed. Let's just cut the long story short. Planet was affected in such a way it was devastated, right? You know, where the dinosaurs died and all sorts. You know, those kind of crazy stuff, right? So he's trying to say they had to have a reason. And out of those reasons, we have these stories come up, right? He talks about like how Atlantis was destroyed in one of these cataclysms, right? And he's trying to put a timeline to it. And he has his own theory. But what happens is in the book, he's talking about the theory. And by the way, the book we're talking about is the sanitized version. The problem I see is his reference points are gone. They're not there. And I think that's what's been taken away. So I've just been curious and I thought, okay, he's come up with this theory. He thinks Adam and Eve are aliens, right, who landed on this planet. By all means, because I believe the same as well, right? So, you know, and then obviously he's talking about the pole shift, right? So he's saying these cataclysms, how they happen, and including the pole shift, right? Where, you know, we can have the North Pole become the South Pole or the South Pole become the North Pole, to the point where even on some particular effects, we can have the South Pole become the West Pole, right? Or, you know, the Western Hemisphere becoming the South Pole. So it depends on how much it shifts. But what he's pointing out more importantly is that each of these shifts that he has noticed, they're getting shorter and shorter. I think that's the point a lot of people need to understand. So he's pointing out that the timeline is getting shorter because you have like these first ones like 10,000 years, and then you have 7,000 years, then you have 6,000 years, 5,000 years. And he's saying we're coming to a point where we could actually end up having one near to this time, right? And I think another thing he kind of points out, and this is the guy, you know, who was born in 1920, right? He's pointing out something, which is climate change. So I'm sure the people with climate change don't really like this. Now, let's go back to the tennis racket theory, right? You know, when Maxim gave it to me, I didn't know the term, but I have seen the theory before. And it was a fascinating theory, by the way, a fascinating theory. And so I have my own kind of a little view. So I took the information he gave me. He sent me a video. I went and looked at the video and immediately clicked to me. I was like, oh, I see what this is, right? This is brilliant, right? So I do have a little theory of my own. I would love to give that here, right? The pole shift switched in a matter of one day. Yes. And there are multiple theories out there. There are multiple theories out there about this pole shift theory. And I mean, look at it, put it this way, right? We do know from the Perry-Rees map. So Perry-Rees map goes back about 5,000 years or something stupid like this, right? I don't know how old it is. There are different numbers out there. But the point is, the Perry-Rees map, we do know it's a map, had drawn Antarctica in its entirety, by the way, before any other map makers made an Antarctic map of Antarctica. Because remember, Antarctica in the modern days wasn't even discovered. They didn't even know it existed, right? But Perry-Rees had a map and it had Antarctica on it, and it had a drawing of Antarctica exactly as it is. That's not possible For that guy in that timeline, history says that he can't, it's impossible for him to do it. That's what history says, right? But he did it. He had a map, and his map had palm trees and, you know, forests and whatnot in Antarctica, right? It's a sunny, beachy continent. So clearly something had happened, right, which changed it. Now we see Antarctica as an ice sheet, nothing more, right? However, scientists have dug below the ice as deep as they could go, and what they found was basically there are remnants of like soil remnants, like, and all sorts of other stuff that they found, that there was organic matter there, you know, so it wasn't always an ice sheet. So obviously over time, more and more scientists have given their theories, and they said, okay, this is probably a remnants of the ice age. So when the ice age took over the entire planet, or whatever part of the planet, that's the remnants, that's still there, right? But then it kind of contradicts the fact that if that is a part of the ice age, then where is all the ice gone? Obviously melted, right? So if all the ice is melted, then don't we assume the rest of the ice is going to melt as well? And if they do melt, isn't that going to raise the water levels? You know what I mean? So it brings you to that kind of a question. Sorry. It brings you to that question, is like, what part of it is real and what part of it is not, right? And that kind of brings back to younger dryas as well. But the pole shift theory is quite fascinating because it doesn't do it over time. So any kind of an atmospheric change or climate change that we will possibly have, or geological change, they take time, right? And understand where I'm coming from. So this is going to go crazy right now. So please do accept this apology if I do get it wrong. But this is my theory based on whatever knowledge I have. Now I'm just apologizing beforehand, so you are warned, okay, what I'm about to say. So understand this, geological facts, right? So whether it's a volcano, whether it's tectonic plates or whatever, we're going to talk about all of this, right? Graham Hancock talks about the, he does, and his younger dryas theory makes more sense to me. How people have forgotten and lost knowledge. I believe the same as well. I think we are people with amnesia. I do genuinely believe that as well. And I was quite surprised when I saw his video and he said the same thing. I was like, whoa, he's talking about the people with amnesia, because I believe the same as well, right? And I've been believing it for the last 15 years. I don't know how long he's been believing it for. That's what I believe, right? So I don't know Randall Carlson, but I'll check him out. I'll check him out, because I do love this kind of stuff. But let's talk about this, right? So when we talk about geology is slow, is freaking slow. Geology is slow. Even now, our countries, right, are moving at a very small pace, right? They're probably moving a millimeter a year or something stupid like that, right? So at some stage, we might have two countries or two continents collide with each other, but maybe millions of years in the future, because geology is slow, right? Geology is very slow, right? When we have, for example, volcanoes that want to erupt and this and that, right? They don't just happen overnight. They build and build and build until they can't take it, and then they explode. But they do it over hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, right? So this is some crazy, crazy stuff, right? Pothead says, be careful talking about some things on the tube, as they are not nice. Absolutely. Listen, there are plenty of things that are not nice, but I'm going to be as careful as possible, and I'm going to be as cautious as possible, but I'm only going to state things that are already there. And some of it may be facts, but I won't tell who. I'm not going to give you any sources. I'm just going to give you what I know or what everyone else knows, right? So when I start talking about geology, it's a fact. It's a known fact, right? It's a scientific fact, right? Geology moves fast, slow, right? It's a very slow process when things happen, right? Earthquakes and this and that. There's a reason behind this. When we talk about plate tectonics, right? We know that the magma field, or the plates that divide continents or whatever. I mean, obviously that's what they say, but there is this process going on where the earth is rotating inside itself, and things are moving, right? So there is a part of it going under and there's a part going over. So that's why we might see mountains rise and this and that as well. So many other crazy stuff, right? Also, I've noticed everyone's jumped off YouTube right now. Maybe I've picked on something that they don't want to know. So, or probably YouTube is banning everyone now, blocking this entire video from streaming. I don't know, right? But I'm still going to carry on. So, we know that's how geology works, very, very slow, right? And then we have some events which are unpredictable or uncontrollable. Like, for example, we might have a meteor, right? Or a big rock from space come and land on us. Yeah, we might have one of those. If something like that happens, then of course things can be a lot more crazy because you don't know what the outcome would be, right? And that could have been the reason why the dinosaurs were extinct, right? And we can see some references because there are they call it the K2 line, right? So there's this line of carbon or dust, right, where they found in the soil samples that around the planet is there. So that means that clearly there was some sort of a situation where there was some ash that formed around a specific time, and it doesn't matter where you go, it's still there. That means there was some sort of an event which created a situation that could have, you know, wiped out mammals on the planet, right? Anything in the sea was fine, oceans were fine, but on the surface were gone, right? Fine, I understand that. So we're okay with that. And Bubble says, I'm here. Maxim says, carry on. Badass says, laugh out loud. Laugh out loud to you too, my brother. And I see transmission is unstable due to weak network connection. Again, I'm not sure what's going on. I am in a 5G network, so I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, so as I said, listen, YouTube, you can't stop me from talking when I want to talk, right? You can't stop me. Of course, I'm going to be within my limits. I'm not going to say anything that's going to offend anybody. I'm going to try my best not to offend anybody. And that's why when I'm talking, I'm actually processing as well. I'm like, okay, do I say this or do I not? So sometimes if you think that I'm not making sense, there's a reason, because I don't want to make sense. Right, so I'm just giving you a lowdown on how things work, right? So obviously if we have a meteoric event, we don't know, right? Okay, fine. But then the most fascinating one is the pole shift. Now the pole shift theory is fantastic, right? Because there's a few other facts to it. Now it's very simple. People say pole shift, oh, south becomes north, north becomes south. It's quite simple, right? But then a lot of people find it very hard to comprehend. How is that even possible? Right? How is that even possible? Well, there are these solar anomalies, right? So there is a time where the entire solar system, every single planet actually fall into a line, and that creates a massive magnetic event, right? So think about it this way: every planet become in one single line. It happens over thousands of years, and when that happens, each planet has a magnetic pull on another planet, and it creates massive forces which can actually cause a magnetic pole shift, right? Possibly, right? Again, no one's been there to see it or test the theory. I mean, we don't have a planet, right, size of a ball that we can actually test these theories. So it is definitely just a theory, and theories are welcome. So that's what that is. But one thing the pole shift theory does have that does make sense, and this is that it happens very fast. Like, it just happens instantly. Now, for it to happen instantly, there's a few things that do line up. First of all, did you know the planet itself, right, does not spin clockwise or anti-clockwise? Let's just say it doesn't, right? There is, I mean, obviously it's clockwise, but the point I'm trying to make is that it's not doing it on a straight surface, right? It doesn't do it straight. It's actually at an angle. It's got a tilt. Now, that tilt is very important for the tennis racket theory, and let me explain this to you. So the tilt creates a force, right? And it's creating an imbalanced force, right? While everything else is moving this way. So the planet is moving this way, right? Now, all of a sudden, if for whatever reason we flip, right? The sea, the sky, the atmosphere, they're still rotating the same way from the force. And the reason is it will make total sense to you, right? The planet currently rotates around 1,000 miles an hour. 1,000 miles. It's doing 1,000 miles. It's about, the planet is about 24,000, takes about, sorry, it's, 24,000 to do 24 hours, right? So, and the planet's circumference is about 24,000 miles. Something stupid like this. I don't know what it is. Shadow banning and keep the truth and talk about it. Yes, sometimes they might. You never know. They might be switching people off right now. I don't know. They might be just saying, oh, no, the channel's not working, or let's not talk about this guy's talking too much conspiracies. Let's block him, right? Could be. I don't know. Maybe my video is not going to be shown to other people. It might even get a copyright or something. I don't know. I'm getting copyrights on everything these days, right? And or getting warnings on everything. But anyway, so the planet moves at 1,000 miles an hour. Now, I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine this. You are in a car. I'm in a car. And I drive at 1,000 miles speed. So I'm breaking the land speed record. And suddenly I hit the brake. What would happen to me? So let me explain this to you, and this will make a little bit of sense, right? At that time, the G forces that we would have would be at least 3 to 4 times more than what we've produced. So when we're going through space, right, at 1,000 miles an hour, we obviously create a balance. So in the beginning, if we go instantly at 1,000 miles an hour, obviously that's a lot of G-forces, right? But if we gradually get up to there, our body climatizes, we get used to it, right? And so we can now drive at 1,000 miles an hour, maybe even 2,000 miles an hour. It's fine. We're now used to it. We've climatized. The atmospheric difference that we had in the beginning, because we gradually took it to that space, we're fine. We can't do it instantly, but we can do it gradually, right? We have fighter planes. We have supersonic drones. A lot of people don't know this, right? We have fighter planes doing Mach 5, Mach 6, like 5 times, 6 times, 8 times, 10 times the speed of sound. That's happening right now. It's a reality, right? That's some serious speed. These are thousands of miles an hour they're flying. We have supersonic drones, which can fly around 20,000 miles per hour. 20,000 on planet Earth. We've got these 20,000. I'm not even going to go to the conspiracy part of that, but that's what's happening, right? We have drones that can do 20,000 miles. We have International Space Station up there doing 27,000 miles an hour. So those kind of speeds are not something that we haven't experienced, but you can see, right? Everyone's fine. You know, when you gradually get to that space and then you keep that momentum continuously, you're fine. You adjust to it. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you suddenly hit the brake, right, and now you're going reverse at the same speed, you're mush, mate. You're gone. You're mashed potatoes. You're absolutely gone. And that's what creates a cataclysm. So that's probably the most simplest way I can say it, right? Where everything, all the forces are still going one direction, but you slam the brake, but that force is still going. Now that 1,000 miles an hour wind that you never felt before, right? Right now, we've got 1,000 miles speed for the planet rotating, and we don't feel that. Well, theoretically, if you hit the brake, that 1,000 mile speed is still going. The momentum is still there. The amount of force it will take, it will literally obliterate things in seconds. That's the beauty about the cataclysmic theory. All right. So whether we call it the pole shift or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just think about the atmosphere all of a sudden changing directions, but it just hasn't got enough force, or because it hasn't been done gradually and it's instantly, it still continues to spin the wrong direction. Right. And that's what causes chaos. Now, obviously, if that happens, then a lot of stuff could go wrong, right? Now, also looking at say, for example, when you look at, here's another thing as well. Like, one of the things that we know from old science, right? That once upon a time, this planet has had one piece of land and everything else was just ocean, right? And we're talking about the time of the Pangea, right? Pangea, it was one piece of planet. And then obviously tectonic plates came along and whatnot and this and that, and they broke things apart, and the planets, the continents started to form, right? And countries and XYZ. That clearly says one thing, that the planet itself is not solid. Like, I'm sorry, the countries and the continents are not solid. So the land we're on is not solid, it's still moving due to plate tectonics, right? So it's definitely moving. And that means that if they can rip things apart, they can also bring things together. So those are the kind of things you got to look at, and hence why we have these mountain ranges and this and that. Now, mountain ranges, people just think mountains just appear from nowhere. Some of them do, especially the volcano ones. So anything formed via volcano over eruptions over a long period of time, yes, will form into some sort of a mountain, right? But when you're looking at other mountains, which are granite mountains or some other marble mountains or whatever you want to call it, right? That's not a natural formation. That's usually happening by massive forces on the planet. So clearly there has been other forces which have collided in order to create something. And when they collide, by the way, they don't just smash together. They usually go underneath one another. So when something goes underneath something, the other part just pushes up. That's how we see these massive granite mountains. So that's how I think this is. So let's see. Pothead says, stream is running perfectly. Awesome. Thank you very much. It makes sense why all the ancient, huge stone structures all over the world are broken into pieces, spread about. That also makes sense, but there's more to that, right? So when you start talking about ancient structures, right, there's a fun fact about ancient structures. Some of these structures that are there, obviously we've had all sorts of theories of people talking about how giants built it and this and that. These are just fantasies, right? And I don't think giants didn't exist. I think people did exist. I think in the past, right, we could have nature. nature doesn't build or design anything that doesn't fit, right? Mother Nature doesn't make anything that doesn't fit. Let me explain this, right? So as we progress in this current timeline, and imagine our population grows, right? And we have all of a sudden 20 billion people. I want you to imagine we have 20 billion people on this planet. Well, would there be enough room for people with shoe size 14? There wouldn't be. Would there be enough room for people who are 7 foot tall? There maybe not be. People would have to be smaller to fit in the same space. And what I mean by that is the Earth only has so much resources that we can take. That means if we're smaller, we consume less. Nature always provides, right? So the nature will know exactly how to nurture you, and you will become a smaller person. So I'm saying over in the past, right, maybe there wasn't enough people around. So people grew larger, taller, bigger. Their lungs were bigger. Their hearts were bigger. They were able to consume more oxygen and whatnot, right? That's what I'm saying, nothing else, right? Because if you look at the dinosaur theory, right, and I call it a theory for a reason. There's a reason, right? So let's call it a dinosaur theory. Dinosaurs were not tiny little piece of craps. You know what I mean? Right? I don't care if people say, oh, dinosaur theories, oh, T-Rex back in the days has now evolved to a chicken. Seriously? T-Rex is a chicken? I mean, how much more brainwashing can you give me? Is that evolution or is that devolution? Right? Because, you know, I don't know what you call it, but okay, I'll take it with a pinch of salt. Evolution, fine. So that means we don't need a big giant T-Rex anymore, right? And nature provided, and hence why it made it into a chicken. So now we're eating the same thing. It's a cycle of life, right? So those kind of stupid things. But ultimately, nature does provide. And I believe giants did exist, and I believe they were responsible for building things, but giants were us, right? Because there was not many of us. We were bigger, better, stronger. We were having much more rich oxygen, and our lives were a lot better. So we could do this, and the population wasn't as much, right? And I think that during those times, there were more peace, and peace meant people were happy. I believe that's what it was, right? People were more peaceful. And then something happened somewhere, I'm not sure, some kind of political nonsense happened, but that's what it is. And I also believe that we're not from the caves. We're not cavemen. I don't think we're cavemen, right? I believe that man, woman, whatever, humanity, we already had knowledge. We already knew how to speak, read, write, not read, write maybe, right? But that, again, that could be a possibility that we did have read, write, we could read and write. But ultimately, I believe that we already knew how to communicate. We already knew what was right and what was wrong, right? You know, I believe that. I don't think we're just some sort of a drone or some sort of a thing where you have to be taught to do certain things. Of course, there are fantasy stories out there where they say they need to learn things. I don't think so. I think people already knew how to communicate with each other. People already knew what to do, right? Maxim says, hold on. Maxim says the insects were all the size of a man millions of years ago. Exactly. So why were they? Because there was enough space and there was plenty of good atmosphere. Now, in that, I also want to drop one other thing as well, right? So in the past, people, like, you know, this Stone Age theory or this ancient primitive man, right? Because evolution theory has put man and related man, like, to a monkey, right? Let's just say monkey or a gorilla or an ape, whatever you're going to call it, right? Some sort of form of a jungle humanoid. Because of that, we cannot comprehend that we could have had advanced technology, right? What if our civilizations and humanity itself, right? We evolved, or let's just say evolved, right? Or we came to this planet, but we were here for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years maybe, and we've had the technology to move forward over that hundreds of thousands of years. Because remember, look at us right now. The technology we're using right now is like 100, 150, 200 years old, right? Maybe 200, 250 years old. Maybe, okay, let's give it benefit of the doubt, 500 years old. So we're using 500-year-old technology. Now imagine a civilization that was here 200,000 years ago. How much would have they advanced? I believe they could have advanced to the point where this kind of mobility, this kind of fossil fuel and this and that wasn't even necessary. Or probably they already discovered that they don't even need that, right? There was plenty of energy out there. And when we talk about energy, the whole planet is surrounded by magnetic fields and magnetic energy. You're telling me we can't tap into that? I think we can. right? If a simple needle on a magnet, right, on a compass can actually direct you towards the North Pole and the South Pole, that energy could be also harnessed in a larger time scale, or in a larger way, to actually produce energy. Because magnet is energy. You can't have magnetism without energy. That itself is an energy. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm not going down that route. We're not here trying to sell some magnetic fields and this and that. But ultimately, that's what it is. And I believe that some sort of a cataclysm, some sort of an event happened, whatever the event is. And in that event, a lot of our history and a lot of our technology was gone. Could be a great flood, could be a mass extinction event. Something crazy has happened, or could be a pole shift, right? I'm not agreeing I'm not saying one is the ultimate, that's it. No, it could be any one of those things, but it's highly likely. And remember, I'm a probabilistic guy. I'm a guy who looks at patterns. And for me, I do see a pattern there. You can't have that being built on a certain place. And then we talk about how, they were like 500 miles away, and the quarry where they got the stone from was 500 miles away, and ancient man, primitive man, probably dragged it on the sand. And no, people don't work hard, people work smart, right? These builders were smart. They don't work hard. So what it says to me was maybe the quarry was closer, and over time something happened and the quarry just moved away. I forgot where it is. Somewhere in Chile, there's a ancient place in Chile. I can't remember the name. I'm sure Maxine, maybe someone might find the name. On top of the mountain, there's these ancient site. It's an ancient site, right? With these stones where they're kind of melted into each other, right? And literally still standing. Then they do say it's probably around 4,000 or 5,000 years old, but it's on top of a mountain. What if what if there's a possibility it wasn't on top of the mountain? What if there's a possibility that that whole area was flat ground when they originally built it, but something happened and it shot up and it became a mountain? Now that's the reason why it's all the way up there, because again, modern science can't make sense of it. But modern science doesn't want to agree also that there could have been people here hundreds of thousands of years ago, right? And probably some of these stories that we have, because all stories, all myth and legend start somewhere. There's some reality in them, right? So if there's a story of an ancient story of a flood, maybe there was a flood which actually destroyed everybody, right? And then people restarted again. But I want to also talk about this as well. So this is quite crazy, right? Catastrophes and cataclysms and Szechuan. Yes, that's the one. Yes, Szechuan, whatever you want to call it. That's the one. Yes, that's the one. So, but what I'm saying is I want to talk about this reality, this kind of logical fact that we're going to talk about, right? Imagine where we've got a situation where some sort of a global disaster is happening, right? Let's just say anything. It could be nukes, whatever, right? No, not that one. Not that one. It's something else. It's on the mountain. It's on top of the mountain. But the name's not coming to me. But what was I saying? So, I think it's Andes. I'm not sure what it is. Anyways, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The name's just not coming to me now. But anyway, let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this reality, right? We have this global catastrophe. We have this big situation that we're all aware of that is going to happen tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So governments or whatever, we start creating shelters and XYZ to protect ourselves, right? It could be anything. And we have multiple scenarios. War is a scenario. That's a catastrophe, in my opinion. We have a geological event that could be happening, could be Yellowstones, whatever. Yes, that's an event. Or we could have an asteroid coming down to us, right? And that's an event as well. So we have this situation where we're like, okay, we're going to create shelters. Yes, Pumapunku, you're right. That's the one, Pumapunku. Sorry, the name's just not coming. I'm not clicking, but it is Pumapunku. That is Pumapunku, yes. So, what was I saying? So, we have this situation where we might have a global catastrophe. Now, this is where things get really crazy, right? So, imagine this, that you have children, right? You have children, you have family. You have children, you have family. And you're given a choice that there's only limited space. You have a choice. Are you going to go into that shelter, or are you going to put your children into that shelter? Simple question. It's a logical question, nothing else. It's not a riddle, it's nothing, right? If people have children and they have a choice, whether they go into the shelter or they put their children into the shelter, what do you think the outcome would be? Most probably they will put their children into the shelter. We've had our life, let our children live, right? And we're protective towards that. So those who have children know this, right? You'll be protective towards your children. You'll be like, no, I want my children to be safe and I'll do it. Whether it's war, you do the same thing. You put your children in shelter and you go out and fight the war, right? So similar kind of stuff. But these children don't have knowledge, right? These children do not have any knowledge of what's happened in the past because they're young. So obviously they wake up or the doors open, imagine this, right? And we can make a movie out of it, right? And all of a sudden, now they come out into this new world. Well, it's a new world. But they know how to communicate, by the way. I'm not saying they don't know. They're not stupid. They actually know how to communicate. So the entire time humanity, I believe, has existed on this planet, they always knew how to communicate, right? Now, here's a fun fact I'm going to drop in here, right? This is really, really crazy, right? And this is going to really, really knock people off their heads, right? Believe me, it's going to be completely insane, what I'm about to say to you. This is really, really crazy. Because these are the subjects that are so controversial that nobody wants to pick up on it, because if you do, then it's taboo, right? And I'm going to drop this to you. So remember, and just before I get into this, I want to say one thing, right? My religion is Muslim, but I believe in Jesus, I believe in Moses, I believe in Abraham, and all of the Abrahamic faith. I believe in all of them, right? So believe me, I'm not going against the religion at all, right? I believe whatever Abraham's religion was is my religion as well. As simple as that, right? So just because in modern days we call ourselves Muslims doesn't make me a Muslim, right? I am what Abraham was. Simple as that. I believe in what he did. But what I'm about to say to you is going to be freaking crazy. A lot of people know who Moses was. A lot of people know his history, Moses' history, right? He was raised by a pharaoh and this and that. He's an Egyptian. Technically, he's an Egyptian, right? So technically an Egyptian who's highly educated, by the way, because he's part of the royal family. So he's educated, he knows hieroglyphics and whatnot, probably in his time. I'm hoping he does, because according to science and according to geologists and paleontologists and whatever, during that time they wrote the hieroglyphics, right? But the Torah that Moses wrote, apparently, and the 10 Commandments that he brought to people was not in hieroglyphics. So where did he all of a sudden learn a whole different language? Doesn't make any sense. Because all logic dictates Moses should have written it in hieroglyphics, but he didn't. Unless hieroglyphics is not a language that he even knew. Do you get my point? So that means he probably only spoke Hebrew, and he probably wrote Hebrew or Aramaic, whatever you want to call it, right? He didn't have knowledge of hieroglyphics. Now, here's the mind-blowing part. If he didn't know what hieroglyphics were, that means during his time, during Moses' time, 3,000 years ago, hieroglyphs were already there and people were already confused. They had no idea what it was. That means there was a previous civilization before them who left those pyramids and those hieroglyphics there. You see what I'm saying? This is crazy stuff. Because when you question one thing, then you come up with another answer. Because now we've gone into the realm of maybe what's going on here. Because all logic dictates, if they were responsible of writing hieroglyphics on the pyramids, then the language that they would speak and they would know would be hieroglyphics. Why did he write it in a whole different language? Not his native language, because that would technically be his native language. That means that wasn't his native language. That means history itself, somewhere along the line, broke and they can't make the connections. You see what I mean? So Tower of Babylon, that's a different story. The Tower of Babylon goes back to ancient Iraq, right? So Iraq was, that region of Iraq was Babylon. It goes all the way back to there. Now, the Tower of Babylon, was it built? Maybe. It was during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, right? And Tower of Babel is the one that they talk about, where man built a tower. They wanted to reach God, right? Is it right? We're going to go and reach God, right? And during that time, apparently everyone spoke the same language, right? And then this is a story. Again, I can't confirm nor deny. I don't know, right? I just heard the story. And God said, no, you want to come and challenge me? You want to come and see me? I'm going to destroy your tower. So the tower destroyed, probably physics, right? Could be physics, because you're going to try to build a tower that tall at that time. Maybe you don't have the technology, or you don't understand the maths behind how to build something so tall. So anyway, the Tower of Babel was destroyed, and God decided to create thousands of languages, right? and said, like, you guys shouldn't be able to communicate with each other. Whatever, there's a story behind this, right? And it depends on which part of the world you are and who gave you the story and what narrative you're getting. So again, I'm not saying none of this is true or none of this is not true, right? I believe all myths and legends start somewhere at some stage with a little bit of truth. The truth is out there, simple as that, right? I can't say any of this. So, but that's what it is. But there is another fact, like when you said Babylon, that's a good thing as well, because what you'll find is a lot of the ancient religions are actually coming from that specific kind of general area, all right? And that made me question something as well. So nowadays, in the modern days, we know of Iraq, Iran, Saudi, Israel, Syria, this, that, Libya, whatever. What if in ancient times, they were all one region? What if there was just one piece of land? God knows what it was called, but one piece of land. Where's the history for that? Maybe that's something we need to question. Maybe that's all it was, just one piece of land, right? And if it was one piece of land at that time and it wasn't divided into countries, then that means countries were made later. Do you know what I mean? So Maxim says, no, God made people to speak different languages so they couldn't understand each other and finish the tower. Probably. As I said, different narrative, different story. I'm only going by what I know, the limited knowledge, guys. Listen, I don't have extensive knowledge on these things. I'm not a scholar, right? I don't study this for a living. They probably will be able to answer this. But as a human being, a few minutes behind, catching up on 2x speed. Okay, so as a normal human being, and I call myself quite normal, even though people think I'm not normal, which is fine, right? I like to question things. I like to say, okay, fine. You know, because one thing I don't do, and I do it with respect, I don't bring God into my conversations, because as I say, if I believe God is very powerful, very strong, the Almighty, the Creator, I believe He's made us perfect and He's given us everything we need. He's not going to come for you and me. If we think God is going to come, then He's just another average person or average God or something. Then He needs to help you. God doesn't need to do anything, right? God doesn't play with you. God doesn't do none of that business, right? The God concept could be something completely different. And this is the whole thing. We're not supposed to know. It's supposed to be mysterious. God is supposed to be mysterious. Man, woman, he, she, alien, whatever, doesn't matter. God is supposed to be mysterious. And we're not supposed to understand God. So when we start trying to understand God, we make problems for ourselves, right? When we have religious context that God will help you, God will do this. No, we're trying to bring God down to us. No, God doesn't do anything. God will not help you. He's already done it. Right? God is not just for you and me, or one kind or another, or this culture or that culture, or this region or that region. No, that's not how God works. God has an entire universe. God has an entire universe, and I believe God hasn't stopped, and He's constantly building and He's making. That's what God does. So when you start understanding this, it's a whole different concept, right? Because I'm not limiting God. Does that make sense, right? So it's a crazy theory, but that's how I say, like, yeah, I'm not limiting God. For me, God is infinite. God is infinite, you know. So I know it's a crazy thing. I know a lot of people can't stomach it when I turn around and say stuff like this. But it is what it is, whether you like it or not. I don't really care. End of the day, this is my opinion. This is how I feel, because I don't see differences in people. I don't see that. I don't like to bring God down and say, well, God would do this, or God hasn't done this, on this and that, because that's what some people say. Where is your God? Oh, this happens. Where is your God? Right? Oh, God help me, or God didn't help you. No, God is not going to help you. I understand that. God gave me everything I need for this life, and I'm going to use everything He's given me wisely, right? Because I understand whatever I need, I have it. I don't have too much of anything, and I don't have too less of anything. Just perfect amount. That's a perfect balance, and I think that's a perfect creation, right? I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you guys if God didn't create me in that particular way, for me to think in a particular way and be able to talk about it on a live stream with a whole bunch of people. And I don't know, we could have had hundreds of thousands of people here right now. I don't know, but at the same time, I'm still here talking to you, right? So I was watching a documentary the other day. This is a fun part. I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was to do with the Prime Minister of India, right? It just came on my stream. I don't know why, it just came up. I don't search politics and stuff, but it just popped up. This guy had, like, I don't know, I think 16 or 17 million subscribers, and this video had like 20 million views, and just popped up on my stream. I don't do politics. Maybe Google was listening to something I was saying. So anyway, it's talking about how the current Prime Minister or President of India is becoming a bit of a dictator, right? Because of political reasons. Anyway, I don't know about any of that stuff. I'm not involved, and I'm not interested. I don't like politics. But what I found funny was that apparently every single news conference or meeting he's ever done, he's done it on a script. He's done it on a script. Even the live ones, he's done it on a script. He will not answer anything. If you ask him a question out of script, he will just get up and walk off. He will not do anything. So every reporter, everyone is given a script, and they have to ask him questions based on that script, right? And I'm here on a live, ask me anything, giving my knowledge, whatever limited knowledge I have, right? And as I said, it's my pinch of theory, nothing more. I don't like to just go by somebody else's and say that's the fact, right? Oh, this is this person's theory because he's been approved by the academics and he's been approved by the scientific community, so we should accept that. No, I don't accept that. I want to question that, and then I'll come up with my own theory. So as I said, like the book by Chan Thomas, why would the CIA take it? I didn't care about anything else. All of those theories are fine. There's plenty of other theories out there. There's been theories before that. Theories are hundreds of years ago, right? In fact, the tennis racket theory is from the 1800s. A lot of people don't know this. It's like 150, 200 years old. There's a theory out there. I forgot what it's called, something body of movements theory. So there are people talking about physics, why the physics works like this. And I was going to talk about that as well. So our planet, we have physics, right? So one of the important things, our planet is not a sphere. It's more like an egg shape. And we have an egg shape that is on an angle, an axis, right, on an angle. But at the same time, we have this centrifugal force as well at 1,000 miles an hour. So theoretically, the Earth isn't spinning straight, right? And that might have an effect and create an imbalance. And in order to see that imbalance happen more faster, there was this experiment, right? They did, right? It was an accidental experiment. That was the tennis racket theory, basically. So I would recommend search it, go and watch it. You'll understand what I mean. And then when you do, then think about what I said about planet Earth. And then if you want to search some planet Earth stuff, because I'm not doing graphics here, guys. This is a live stream, right? So it will make kind of sense how the tennis racket has 3 axes, how Earth has also 3 axes as well, technically, because we do have sideways, we have the top, and we have the diagonal as well. So that 3-axis movement does have this pattern in open space, and whether you do it at a small scale or whether you do it over a larger time frame, it doesn't matter. That is a probability that everything with the 3-axis does actually do, right? It's quite fascinating. That just kind of more solidifies that the pole shift may be a reality. Right, so yeah, I mean, we've even got there are some people out there who even talk about flat Earth. I don't do flat Earth, by the way. I'll be honest with you. I have seen some interesting documentaries which do compel you to at least question, what if, right? Very compelling stuff, right? But I don't think we have a flat Earth. Now, some people have said like hollow Earth. I just want to drop it here while we're at it, right? Hollow Earth, probably. I don't see a reason why we can't have hollow Earth. But hollow Earth to me is not the hollow Earth theory. I believe that civilizations, like as I mentioned earlier on, if we have a catastrophe, what would you do? You would protect your family and friends, right? Or your children. I believe ancient civilizations may have protecting themselves by digging the ground and going underneath. So there may be some truth to the hollow Earth, but not quite hollow, right? They talk about how we have a sun in the middle. I don't think quite that. I think, yeah, maybe we do have, because we can see certain things we can see, right? So there are some science that are actual facts, right? We can see how, the Earth spins, for example. We can see how we have magma, right? If we didn't, we wouldn't have volcanoes. So there's a reality there. So anybody who's thinking about a hollow Earth, well, you're going to burn first, bro, right? So there has to be pockets of areas that people would have to make, refuge. And I think that we could end up having people still down there, right? Don't see a reason why not. So that could be something like artificial stuff, but these are people with advanced technology. Any hollow Earth theories out there, I want them to think that maybe there are people down there with advanced technology, hundreds of thousands of years old. There is no reason why not. All right, there is no reason why not. So yeah, does that make me not religious? I am absolutely religious. Do you know what I mean? Does that make me not believe in Adam and Eve? I still believe in the first man and first woman, right? But I also believe that there's something there that many people refuse to question or just kind of ignore, right? And I'm okay. I'm like, I accept this, what I have. This is what I was raised with. I accept that. But at the same time, I'm also curious. And I think there's a bigger picture. And maybe the bigger picture is what we need to see that would help us unify and be humans again. Because a lot of us, we've lost our humanity. I mean, on what planet do you have humans calling each other aliens? What planet? I mean, we should be calling aliens are things out of this world, but we have neighboring countries calling each other aliens. You're an alien in my country. Do you know what I mean? So that's just like abusing. That's what I say. So, you know, and we can go on forever, by the way, but this kind of stuff, I mean, when you go into deep down onto conspiracy stuff, unless we talk about one specific subject, things can get messy. But I hope I didn't offend anybody. I'm just trying to be logical. I am looking at the market currently back at $2.54 trillion. BTC at $69,471. Ethereum at $3,500. Solana at $192. So let's see what happens, right? So if you guys are still here, let me know if you have any other questions. And what do you think about my theories? If you agree, if you disagree, leave them in the comments. Absolutely fine. As I say, I've said to this many times as well, guys, there is really not much people could say to me to offend me. I don't really get offended that often, right? I could be demoralized by certain things people say to me, like if they're being nasty, right? Yeah, of course I could be demoralized a little bit. Or the actions people take, like for example, if people stop watching my videos, that might demoralize me a little bit, which is fine. But there's really not much that could offend me, right? Because I have an open mind. I am willing to learn. I want to see. I don't want someone to come and think that they can't say something to me that might offend me. No, guys, please understand this. There is absolutely nothing much that you can say that will offend me, right? The things that will offend me are usually criminal activities and criminal things. I'm not interested in those kind of things, right? You know, and I'm talking like sexual criminal activities, like, you know, I don't want to talk about these things, right? But they wind me up. They boil my blood. I don't like them. That's the kind of stuff that tick me off and I'll start swearing and effing and blinding. But other than that, you know, when it comes to theories and conspiracies, I encourage people, have your own theory, come up with your own theory. Don't look at other people's theory. Think about your own theory. If you see a theory, try and connect it to multiple other theories and see how they connect and if they work together. That's what I say, right? So I'm a very inclusive guy, very open guy. Ask me anything and I'll definitely talk about it. Sabine is here. Also, my brother, nice to finally see you during the day. We've been here for about 1 hour, 12 minutes. Where you been? So Sabine is our Yearn Finance guru. No, not guru. Yearn Finance holder. He's one of our big Yearn Finance holder. He's a Yearn Finance fan. I think yesterday you said something. Yearn Finance is in the house. I think we were talking about yourself. I thought about it later and I was like, I think he meant that Yearn Finance is in the house. Sabine is in the house. And I kind of went on about Yearn Finance. But apologies if I offended you. Honestly, apologies. But yeah, you know, I try my best not to offend anybody. I try and keep everybody inclusive. As I said, ask me anything. It doesn't matter. If I have an answer, I'll tell you. If I don't, I will say I don't know. If I have a theory, I'll happily throw that theory. But none of this should be taken as financial advice, as tax advice, as a fact, right? Especially the conspiracy theories. Guys, it's a theory, right? And we're welcome to have theories. All science is based on theory. 95% of all science is based on theory until proven to be a fact, right? So theories. So Pothead says peace, I believe. Sabine says I was working out the gym, bro. Awesome. Maxim says how far are we from all-time high on alts? On alts, I mean, if you're talking about the entire alt market, it's going to be a bit tough to say. There's a reason behind this. I do have an altcoin market cap here that I can look at, but when you talk about alts, it's a bit of a confusing question because every day we have thousands of new alts coming on. So that kind of changes the narrative and changes the numbers. So if we do see an all-time high right now, it may not be accurate, because that all-time high that we see right now could have 1,000 different altcoins, meme coins, rug pulls pumping the market that momentarily. So it's going to be really hard. So here's a good one. For example, an total market cap 3, excluding BTC and Ethereum, is currently sitting at 755 billion with a B. All right, and let's see how far we are from the all-time high. Right, I'm going to switch the timeline. Let's go, yeah, let's do a 2-week. So I'm doing a 2-week one, so that way it would give me a thing. So the previous all-time high we've had was, hold on. So yeah, the previous one we had was in November 2021, right? Obviously just before the crash. That particular one was 1.1, let's just say $1.1 trillion for the altcoin market cap. That's what it was. But that's not the same right now. Currently, we're sitting at 755. We can get there. I don't see much of an issue. It's not much, well, like 300 billion away. That's easy. To be honest, that's easy to do. That can be possible. But remember what I said, like too many rug pulls and this and that, right? That's what it is. Maxim says, should I sell my Casper? Casper's not, well, it is an alt, but it's what you have to understand. Casper's not your average alt. There are alts, and then there are altcoins or alt blockchains. This is a blockchain. So there is something I do believe. Blockchains are a good asset to hold, especially during a bear market. So if you do get an opportunity to buy them during the bear market, if you do make profit, follow the market, right? Follow the market. And if you don't know how to do a stop loss, then follow the market. And when you think that you've doubled, tripled your money, take your initial out. Take your initial, and if you tripled your money, take another 1/3 off the table as well, and leave a small amount. You know what I mean? So it's all about you making sure that you've taken your initial out, so that way it's not costing you anything, and then taking some profit out to treat yourself, and then do whatever you need to do. You know what I mean? And then let the market roll. And if you think that, okay, market's about to go and bleed out now, because there will be a time when we will know when the market will bleed out. At that time, you take it out, right? But you can't put it into the alt market, because it's not an alt. It's a blockchain, right? So it's a blockchain. It's a mining coin. You mine it. It's on a blockchain. So at some stage, they might start building on it. They might start doing all sorts of crazy, and it might just become another Solana, for example, right? If it does, then it explodes. You know, a lot of people don't believe in these blockchains exploding, but blockchains have the opportunity to explode, right? It just, the only thing is the technology solid? Is it easy for people to use? And is there enough users there that we could start some sort of a narrative there? It could be anything. We could start a DeFi there. We could start NFTs there. We could start something, anything that moves that market and start building there. That's all we need. We just need the developers to come to that. Obviously, one problem we have is we have thousands of blockchains, right? And I do say thousands, and I mean thousands. Officially recognized about 600-700, but the point is thousands of blockchains out there, because it's easy to copy a blockchain. That's happening. And then we have millions of coins. That's kind of diluting the interest, because focused energy into anything is greater, right? So if we can focus all our energy into BTC, Ethereum, whatever, even Casper, if we can focus our energy there, then it's going to be successful. But if we're now looking at so many different altcoins and so many different other things, and we're assuming they're all going to pump, and we're plugging our funds, it gets a bit crazy. You know what I mean? I see free energy. Awesome, my brother. Where have you been? We were talking about centrifugal forces. We're talking about planet Earth. We're talking about the axis. We're talking about magnetic pole shift, my brother. This is a subject that I believe you would be good to advise, because of the knowledge you have in mathematics and science. That's the reason why I'm saying this, free. A lot of people, right? Okay, free energy. I hope you don't mind and get offended if I say this. A lot of you guys that are here right now, I see about 8 of you guys on YouTube right now, and I know a lot of you guys are on Discord as well, right? And let me tell you this, right? If there's one man here who has studied and understands maths and science about all of this crazy stuff, especially magnetic pole shift, I would say free energy is more qualified than anybody else here. All right? I'm not even joking. This man knows his shit, right? He's a freaking genius, right? To me, he, as I said, he gives me Nikola Tesla vibes when I met him. I'm telling you, he's on another level. So, so that's what I see. Pothead says, good luck. Good talk. I think Pothead is leaving. He said, good talk. Sabine says, I don't think the big altcoin season is here. It will probably arrive soon. Yes, definitely. It will arrive once we hit the parabola. We haven't hit the parabola. And the funny thing is I looked at the charts the other day and I did kind of overlay a indicator. I can't remember what the indicator was called. Let me see if I can see the name of it. Hold on. What is it called? Yeah, it's called Bitcoin Power Law Corridor. So if you do go on TradingView, it's called Bitcoin Power Law Corridor. And if you overlay that, it kind of gives you a indication of where we are in the cycle, right? And coincidentally, it already printed $74,000 as the middle point of the cycle, and we got rejected, right? If we cross through that, that's the parabola zone. In my opinion, that's the parabola zone. And it was flashing that we can do about 225K, maybe even more. But I'm not going to pump those numbers out there because that's not the point, right? Whether we go to the moon or not, it doesn't matter. We need to be able to have a parachute to save ourselves when it comes down, right? So that's the whole idea. So that's what it was showing. And for me, that means the parabola hasn't started. Yes, we're expecting the parabola. The momentum is here, but the force hasn't, we haven't had the lift off yet. I think that's going to come soon as well. So let's see. I mean, that's just a hunch I have, but the reality could be something completely different, but we just got to play it carefully. That's the reason why I'm being very careful, right? So, Sabine says, let's channel our energy into Yearn so it blows up to 1 million. Come on. Absolutely. Believe me, if you talk to me about Yearn Finance during the bear market, I'm not even joking, like 2023, 2022, if you knew this channel and you came and talked to me, I swear to God, I would have bought some and I would have just held it. All right, I would have just done that. Sometimes I don't just do it just for the coin. I mean, obviously, if it's a good coin, I would do it. But sometimes I also do it because I want to support the project. I want to support my community as well, right? I see Jack the Lad here. Awesome, nice to see you here as well, my brother. Let's just say, put it this way, right? So sometimes I would just buy it just to support the community. There are members on Discord, for example, they have mentioned coins, right? And there are times when the coin just looks shit, but everything else, like the fundamentals look good, but the coin just performance looks just shit. I still buy it because what's the harm if I've got some spare cash that I can drop into this? What's the harm in supporting the project? Because you never know, it might actually pump up. But I'm only putting money I could afford to lose. So I'm not going to go and say, oh, I'm going all charitable today. I'm going to go and become a whale in theirs and pump the market. No, I won't do that, right? Because I don't believe in the project. But I will support my community with money I could afford to lose, right? It's a very simple thing. So that's something I would do. And honestly, if I knew you then, I would have definitely put some into Yearn Finance because it is one that I have been in before. I have made money, but when I made the money, I left it and I never wanted to go back again because I just didn't see the potential for it to go back to where it does. But if you believe in it, I would have supported you in your belief as well. I'm not even joking. I would do that. That's the kind of person I am. Maxim says, I just feel like we're gonna trash so many memes. Will be obsolete. Memes are, listen, memes is a joke. Memes is a joke. Have a bit of fun, have a bit of laugh, get the hell out. Don't stick around with them. That's all I'm going to say. Have a bit of laugh, have a bit of fun, make your money. They're not worth it. It's in the name. It's a meme. It's a joke. It's a joke. So if it's a joke, make sure you understand it's a joke. Don't fall for the joke, right? There are days when it does shit, moves sideways, and then when you least expect it, the price literally teleports to the upside. How the price movements are for Yearn. So Yearn Finances, there's another fun fact about Yearn Finance, right? Yearn Finance, the fundamentals, right? One of the things, you should know this, right? Yeah, I mean, you're a Yearn Finance holder, you should know this. Yearn Finance doesn't necessarily follow the market. Of course, it also gets power from the market. There may be interest from the market, but Yearn Finance doesn't require the market to pump, be in a bull market or in a bear market. It doesn't matter. Yearn Finance works on a whole different mathematics. The more people that use Yearn Finance for the DeFi yield activities, that creates a bit of a scarcity, and that scarcity creates the value, right? So Yearn Finance doesn't necessarily rely on the market cycles. It relies more in its user base, right? So if there's not enough users in Yearn, then Yearn can't perform, right? So we don't necessarily have to be in a bull market, but of course the bull market also brings in a bit of a positive energy, which we're all trying to give to you, and it does kind of pump. But ultimately, Yearn was designed in such a way that Yearn doesn't have to necessarily rely on a bull market or other people coming in pumping. Put it this way, when Yearn went to, I think it was like the low. What was the low? I can't remember. I think it was a 4,000, 3,000, 4,000, something like that. If everyone bought one, right? There's only 36,000 Yearn coin. You know this, right? There's not millions. It's 36,000. So imagine 36,000 people decided to buy Yearn Finance, right? And just hodl it. What would happen then, right? But of course, you know, money, it wouldn't go anywhere. But if all 36,000 people bought it and then decided to go and now start playing with it, then imagine what kind of price valuation it would have. So it is quite important for Yearn Finance to be used. It's not a hodling coin. It's a you have to use the coin in order to get those DeFi gains. That's where it performs the best. And of course, when the price goes up, dump it, not a problem, right? Because you can always buy it back again. So it is one of those that a lot of people need to be aware. Yearn Finance, there's only 36,666, I believe, coins or something like this. I can't remember exact number, but that's what it is, right? There's not many of those out. So yes, you will see good swings. In fact, you might even get lucky and see it shoot up to 70, 80K, 90K. Easy, easy. Last season, I did say to everyone, I said, if any coin does go close to 100K, it will be Yearn Finance because of the amount of attention it had, right? People were just aping into it. That's what gave Yearn Finance the valuation it had. Of course, once the interest died, people started dumping back to zero or back to the ground, right? We come back down again. And there was an opportunity for people to buy. As I said, if someone buys all of the Yearn, and someone could, it doesn't do anything. Yearn has to be used for it to make you money, right? Or for it to increase in value. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I know it's a kind of long-winded, but I hope that kind of makes sense. Jack the Lad, my brother, Ramo. Do you have anything to say, my brother? If you do, if you want me to talk about anything, carry on. I don't really care what it is, right? I know there were a bunch of other guys who wanted to talk about Zionism and this and that, whatever. Listen, I'll talk about them as well. I haven't got an issue. But question is I'm not going to just go randomly and talk about it on a video because I want to. No, I don't want to talk about it, but I will happily talk if you're here on the live. If you're not, I'm not going to talk about it, right? So Sabine says, I personally believe that it will rally once retail comes back investing into crypto. Probably, my brother, probably. But remember, as I said, there's only 36,000 coins, all right? Maybe there's a whole bunch of shrimps out there with maybe $100 worth, $500 worth, whatever, and we might have thousands and thousands and thousands of holders. But realistically, 36 people can hold one, and that's 36,000 coins, you know? Or one person could buy the entire 36. There are whales out there who have the capacity to buy all of those. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it could happen. You never know. So, yeah. As I said, it could, you know, when people use it, it has the potential to pump to the moon, right? And as I said, last season, I didn't have faith in BTC going to 100K. I had faith Yearn Finance going to 100K, and it went close to 100K. So I was happy with that. That was a call I made, and it came true. So I'm happy. You know what I mean? Ramos says, sorry, Jack the Lad says, I'm good. Thanks, Sam. No problem, my brother. If there is anything you want me to talk about, by all means, right? By all means, remember, I don't have an issue. Any subject, anything. If I know about it, I will talk about it. BTC, remember I said about 70K. Right now, BTC is trying to attempt to go and test 70K. It's at 69,868 or 884 now, flipped in front of me. So it is becoming bullish. It seems that even the whales or whoever's playing the game, they also see the numbers, right? Remember, I say this quite often, guys. I say, if I see the numbers, they see the numbers, right? So they know that we're too close to that resistance. We just need to break past that resistance and we're there, right? So that's happening right now. If you want to see the screen that I'm looking at, by all means, tell me. I'll flip the camera over and show you guys. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. 69,932. We're testing that 70K, guys. And if we can close a candle above that, we're back in the game. All right, we're back in the game. Going off on a tangent here. What's your opinion regarding the tech job market? Do you think AI will completely take over at some point? If we understand what AI is, then it's already taken over. AI is a string of algorithms, right? If this then that, right? So AI, you predefined what models it can work on. So imagine you give it a task. You say, okay, I want you to manage all the accounts in my business. Then you predefine the inputs, right? And you say these are the inputs, like an Excel sheet. You give it the inputs, and the outputs come out. So technically, an Excel is an AI. So I will talk about that, right? Maxim said something about thing. I will talk about that. So technically that's AI. We just redefined the algorithms and give it a different name, calling it artificial intelligence. And an artificial intelligence means it can operate autonomously. That's all it is. But that's something we're already doing. Like we have email responders, it's automatically sending out emails, predefined messages. But of course, when we're talking about general artificial, that's a different thing. General artificial intelligence can think for itself and make decisions on itself. But again, it will be within parameters, right? So are people already using it? Definitely, they're already using it anyway. So are we going to come to a society where they're going to take over everything, we're going to do nothing? To a certain extent, it's already happening. And to a certain extent, they are going to do that. But it just doesn't work, because one of the biggest problems that the governments know, right, giving AI or using computers, what do you do with the population? Because there's only two options you have, right? You either pay everybody to sit home, so you print billions of dollars or trillions of dollars, and you pay everybody every year to sit home and spend that money while AI does all the job, right? Where companies and institutions will be spending billions of dollars or trillions of dollars over the years to invest into AI, right? So you take an AI, take 1,000 jobs away, AI does everything efficiently, no problem. Governments now spend trillions of dollars paying these people. Inflation system kicks off, money printing doesn't stop. Fine, it's just a digital number anyway. Then you create a society where you're able to control people based on their behaviors and their actions and whatever. Like what I say, I might be controlled, right? Through their bank balances or what you pay them. Because now, if you are paying people to sit at home, you can decide what fate they have, right? Can they be wealthy? Can they be rich? Can they be poor? Where can they spend? CBDC, all of that. That all kind of plays into this, right? So you do that, but that doesn't really help anybody, because now you're creating money that devalues the current money. So if you have $10 today and they print another $10, and is that $10 worth $10? No, it's worth half that, right? So that's the situation we have. The example I gave was a lot of meme coins. So that's the kind of situation we have. Or the other option is kill off everybody. The other option is, I'm not going to name it, but let's just say something to do with Blue Beam. There's these conspiracies going out there, and kind of to do with the C-19 we had, the whatever. Ultimately, kill everyone off. Because if you have less people, then you don't really need to print trillions of dollars. You can keep a nice little balance. You know what I mean? So, as I said, these are just theories, right? But ultimately, AI is already here, just rebranded. They're just calling it AI, but it's always been here. We've always had it. It's been part of our life since internet's existed. Since internet existed. But there are going to be some parts that are going to be automated. Not everything. Not everything. So, Maxim says, did you say that UK is banning wallets? No. UK is not banning wallets. European Union is banning wallets. So in the European Union Council or Parliament, a majority people voted and passed the bill on the 19th of March 2024 to ban self-custody wallets, which means if you have your own private keys. However, exchanges are absolutely fine. Full KYC exchanges without your private seed phrase or private keys is absolutely fine. And the exchanges are now responsible for reporting you for your illegal activity if you transfer money from the exchange to a self-custody wallet. All right. So that's what they're trying to do. Funny thing is I do remember there was this incident regarding Coinbase and the SEC at some stage. I can't remember what it was. It was in the, what was it called? Was it Biden or was it Trump? What's that called? Bipartisan. Yes, the bipartisan bill that they did. There was a mention of that where they wanted to They talked about crypto, and they talked about how they want to find ways to like tax or track non-custodial wallets. Well, they clearly can't find a way to do it, so now they just said, well, why don't we just start off the experiment? Because remember, Europe is an experiment, part of the NWO, right? So it's an experiment anyway, so why don't we just try it over there and see if we can ban these people? And you know, because these people are like brainwashed enough, they might just not use it anymore because it's illegal, right? So yeah, that's what they did, just created a thing there. So that's what's going on. Sabine says ChatGPT can literally do so much. Most software engineers use it on their job. Yes, it's true. I've used ChatGPT briefly, and yeah, it's brilliant. It can do so much more. It has access to all of these things, but that's a good thing, right? I mean, if we can use technology as an assistant, right, it's a good thing. But at the same time, it might start making us a little bit dumb, right? I don't know, maybe it might make us a little bit dumb as well at the same time. So yeah, if we start relying on technology, then we're now, remember what I said about evolution and devolution, we're going to start devolutioning, right? If that makes sense, right? So we're going to get a little bit more dumb. And I'm being honest with you, by the way. Listen to this, guys. I used to have great so I know this, right? So when I was younger, I used to write very good. My handwriting was fantastic. My typing speed was fantastic. I used to be able to type with one hand and keep up with everybody, right? So I was really good. I used to type very good, and my spelling was fantastic. I'm not even joking. Nowadays, with these predictive texts and this and that, right, I've got so I can't remember. Sometimes I don't even know how to spell something that I would have easily spelt before. I can't pronounce it. I can't write it. I'm like, because my predictive text is taking over and it's actually making me stupid, right? But I like it, so I'm just keeping it, and I understand that I'm becoming stupid, so I'm aware of that. So that's really happening. But yeah, I mean, using technology as an assistant, it makes us more efficient. I don't see a problem with that. Is technology going to take over? At some stage, technology will. It is part of the greater plan, the NWO plan. Let me say that right. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's how they're going to save the climate and save the planet. You know what I mean, right? But yeah, there's more to it, but that's what I'm going to say. Free Energy says, thank you for that introduction, my friend. I certainly look at the centrifugal forces in a non-controversial way. Absolutely, and that's the reason why I respect you. And as I said, you would be more qualified in that aspect of the theory than me. So the Adam and Eve audiobook that I released, which we're talking about, and the tennis racket theory, right, about the centrifugal forces and the three axes, how they rotate in a particular way, that will definitely be something in your realm, because I know you have the experience in that, and you have the some mathematical equations at least more than me, because I'm not a scientist, and and I know you somewhat, right? But you do see it in a non-controversial way, which is fantastic, and this is exactly what we need to do. Nothing has to be controversial. It can also be, anything can be theoretical and accepted by people with open mind. Like-minded people will see these and actually appreciate these kind of comments and these kind of thoughts, right? We should be thinking. We shouldn't be sitting there and just taking. For example, I want you to go and question me, right? When I give you guys numbers, when I give you guys charts, when I talk about certain patterns, when I talk about certain things, don't take me for granted. Please go and question it. Because I would rather have you have your own opinions on certain things than take somebody else's opinion. And that's what I do in reality. I take other people's opinion and I come up with my own thing. And that helps me navigate the world the way I want it. It's my path. You know what I mean? It's my story. So that's how I look at it, basically. So Sabine says, are you live streaming tonight? If you want, yeah, why not? I can come on live in a few hours. Not an issue at all. I should be free. Let me see what the time is. 4:02. Yes, I should be free around 6, maybe 7 p.m. I think about 7 p.m, 7:30 p.m. I should be free. I can do another live there, not a problem. Yeah, if you want, that's not an issue. I got my laptop, so I can go home and charge up the laptop and get it ready and do a nice little stream if you want. I don't see an issue with that. If that's what you guys want. If you want to join me later on, we can do other one. We can talk about other stuff, right? But yeah, I mean, these live streams are great, in my opinion. I don't know about other people. I don't know how you guys feel. If you do like the streams, guys, smash that like button, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sham. This is 0xfiles. The truth is always out there, right? And when we're not saying it's our truth, what we're saying, the truth is there, right? Ultimately, we need to discover the truth and find a way of accepting the truth for what it is, right? You know, whether we make it up or what, doesn't matter. Bubble said, I'm at work at that time. I know you are, Bubble. I know. Do you know what I'm going to do? One of these days, I'll probably come and visit you, my brother, because I know you're not that far from me, about, what, 15, 20 miles from me? I'll come visit you sometimes, right? It'll be quite nice, right? I think I need to have some of those lovely pizzas. So that would be quite interesting. Or if you do get the time as well, I mean, if you're free, remember, I'm in the restaurant from Tuesday to Sunday, I'm there. So Tuesdays actually got funny. Tuesdays, there are some people, they think there's a club, right? So on a Tuesday and a Sunday, I get so many people coming just for crypto. We have loads of crypto conversations. It's hilarious, right? So on Tuesdays. So yeah, some people are like, is this a club? I'm like, no, you know, it's not a club. But we'll definitely, yeah, I'll pop over, bro. I know you're there, I'll pop over because I know you guys make some fantastic, lovely pizzas. Yeah, definitely come over, man. Definitely. Maybe next week. How about this? Maybe next week. All right. I know it's just steakhouse. I don't care what it is, right? As long as he has halal steak, I'll have steak as well, bro. It doesn't matter. 10 p.m. will be too late, my brother. 10 p.m. will be too late for me. Because I do have a few bits and bobs I need to do. I can do about 7 to maybe 9. So between 7 and 9, I can do a stream. I don't want to go over 9. I have a meeting I need to actually attend, hence why. In fact, that's probably that's another reason, not probably, that is definitely another reason why I did a live stream right now instead of waiting for it, even though I wanted to do it because the market's reacting. But it was kind of my video for today, so that way I don't have to do a video later on, but I'll happily do a video. I can do 2 hours if you want, from 7 to 9. And then after that, I got to go because around 10 o'clock, I actually have a meeting I need to attend. Yeah, meeting is important, by the way. It's a good meeting. It's not a bad meeting. It's to do with that project that I'm working on. So there are a few bits and bobs that I've had delivered and I'm not happy with. I need those things changed. So I got to talk to the guys, and unfortunately the guys, our 10 p.m. is whatever time in their country. So it's convenient for them. So I'm going to do that. And normally during the daytime, I do kind of do other meetings as well and this and that. But today I didn't do none of that. Today I'm just chilling. Honestly, I'm just chilling. Absolutely just chilling. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm here. I'm happy to do this live stream, you know. So let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. Let me have a look at the market while you're at it. We're so close, guys. We're so close. You know, I'm looking at this. We're so close, right? So BTC, almost, right? So almost. In fact, I've just zoomed in a little bit more now. Yeah, we need to get above 70,090 something. We definitely have to get to that. So let's see what happens, right? Sabine says, no worries, bro. The market is experiencing some very small pumps. Yes, you know, pumps are great. This is what we need to understand. We have definitely invalidated the downward trend. So now we're on a positive trend. So we're on an upward trend, which is great. We needed a confirmation. We had our confirmation. Now all we need to do is by midnight tonight, we need to close the candle where we are or above 67,600. That's it. As long as we can do that, one of the two things. If we want to pump to 75k right now, it's fine, by the way. It's not an issue. But what we need to do is close a candle above the 67,600 in order to confirm the upward momentum. That's all it is, right? So, you know, it's not about how high we go. It's not about what we do, what patterns we break, or what trends we do. It's all to do with those supports. Remember what I said, supports are very important. If we lose a support, then we're only going down. So I was quite happy to see like the support coming. And also remember earlier on another video, a few videos ago, I did say that I was still expecting 58k. Well, guess what? I haven't said that yesterday, right? On yesterday's video, I did not say I stand by 58k. Why? There's a reason behind this. I did say that I stand by the fact that I believe the bleed is over and we should be moving back up again. I don't know when, but that's what I believed. And that's why I had full conviction and I stood by it. And a few days before that, when we went to the 60,700 and something, it was almost 60,800. Just before we went down there, I said to everyone, I said, guys, I still stand by that. We might even go and test that 58k, right? We didn't hit 58k, but we did go close enough. That's good enough for me. I'm going to still take the win, right? I'm going to still take the win. It's a maths that I did, and my maths gave me this random weird number. Somebody else did a maths, his maths gave him a lower number, right? So it doesn't mean that necessarily that number has to come true. That number coming true isn't actually really good for us, but that would have been a lovely support area for us to rebuy and rejoin the market and continue so more, you make more money that way basically. But if it didn't happen, it's fine. And I really didn't want it to go to that number. And I was glad we went to 60,800, bounced off there, and now look at where we are right now, right? That's a nice little, I mean, if looking at today's right now, the price right now, that's easily a 9,000 or 8,000, or 9,000 actually. It's a $9,000 pump from that bottom. So yeah, it doesn't have to go to that number, but it's good enough. At least we knew how low we can potentially go to, and that was a pattern. So, and remember, guys, sometimes when I throw numbers out there, they don't exist, right? What I mean by that, the candle 4 hours from now, that candle doesn't exist, right? When I'm telling you, oh, we might go this low, there may not even be a support zone there. There may not even be a single line there, right? But there's a maths that I would use, and I would do all sorts of crazy stuff to find a level and say, that's the level, that's the zone I'm looking at. That's the zone I'm looking at. Do you know what I mean? It's very rare that I change my mind, but this time I didn't say that I'm like, when the market started moving again, I just said, watch out for the 67,600. We need to go above that. And once we do, then we're going to start moving back up again. But I didn't mention the lower numbers because they're not relevant anymore. So patterns are relevant, right? When you're moving up, then your upper levels and upper supports are more important because that's confirmation to move forward. But when you're going down, and you just need to find your supports, the stronger support areas or psychological support areas, and then bounce off that, right? And if you lose those points, then you know you're going lower, right? And there's plenty of maths involved, percentage maths and so many other different things. But these are all probabilities. Remember, these candles do not exist. When we talk about these numbers, these candles don't exist, right? When I told you about right now, today, oh, we have to go above the $71,000, the candle doesn't exist, but there's a pattern that it does exist. And that pattern does say that to invalidate and to start pumping even further, we must see a 70,074 or 94, something like this. That's what we need to see. So when that comes in, that comes in. Do you know what I mean? So if there's any other question, guys, fire away. Don't have a problem. Yeah, I'm seeing transmission is unstable due to weak network connection. Wow, that's stupid. Don't really care. But yeah, if there is anything else, guys, let me know. As I said, I'm happy to go on forever. Sabine says, did you answer my previous question? I was AFK for a bit. Yes, I did. I did answer your previous question. I answered all the questions. I do answer all the questions. I'm not one of those guys. I mean, maybe in the future I might end up being like one of them. Like, you know, there are some people out there who go on a live stream and then people are giving them messages, you know, could be a simple hi or something, and they just ignore them, right? They ignore them because they want the super chats. They want you to pay them to recognize them. I'm not that guy. You can do whatever, it doesn't matter. I will go through every one of those and I will greet every one of the people on the chat. It doesn't matter if there's 1,000 people, if there's 10,000 people, I will still greet you. And I might, as I said, I might get there at some stage if we go out of control, if we have 1 million people bloody watching or 100,000 people watching, and you know the chats are coming in faster than I could answer them, I might get to a point where I might have to miss a few people. And we've had situations like this before. There was once I had a couple of hundred people on the chat, and there were a bunch of scammers obviously trying to do promotions and what. I just ignored them. So if there is a scammer on the chat trying to promote some rubbish or doing some promo or whatever nonsense they do, I would just ignore them. So yes, I do ignore at some stage, but here normally I've noticed on my live streams, I only get friends coming in, like-minded people coming in, regular guys coming in. So it is really, really awesome. What's your opinion on Cardano? Cardano itself, I'm a strong believer. I am a fan of Charles Hoskinson, right? So it's not the project so much. I'm not really that happy with the tokenomics with the project, right? So what I mean by that, I feel that they didn't have to create 45 billion tokens, right? Because that creates 45 billion problems, right? And one of the problem is it doesn't give us the opportunity to pump high. So let me explain this, right? If you multiply 45 billion into one, that's $45 billion, right? Which is fine, acceptable. We can have a market cap as high as that. If we do $2, that's $90 billion, which is also fine. I don't see an issue with that, right? We can do $90 billion. Let's multiply that, right? That gives us $180 billion. Again, it's fine. No, I don't see a reason why we can't have that. And we multiply that again, right? So now what we're doing is we're multiplying. We're saying, how high could Cardano go? So it seems like Cardano creates a limit. Cardano hits the billions and if not the trillions, as soon as we go above a certain number, and that creates a massive problem. It's like, no, that's not possible, right? Or it shouldn't be possible. I don't mind it being possible, but that creates a problem. So I think the maths is kind of flawed. However, Cardano also realizes this, and I think they are creating some new systems where they're going to do something to rectify that. But yeah, at least one thing I'm quite happy about, they don't have an infinite supply as far as I'm aware right now, or the last time I checked. They don't have an infinite supply compared to like Polkadot and this and that. They did have some issues with their ecosystem where they wanted to get developers, but developers were finding it hard to work on. But they did adopt Polkadot's SDK. So now they're using the Polkadot's building blocks, right? To build on Cardano, which has made it easier for people to develop stuff on Cardano. So they are using that, which is a good thing, but then that means it's a great thing for Polkadot. Anyway, it will be quite interesting, but Cardano, there's a few things I don't quite like about them. I don't think it was necessary for them to create another stablecoin, and they did, right? I don't think they had to do that. Also, Cardano has been involved in building a lot of the DeFi protocols themselves and DEX protocols themselves. That's too much control in one hand. I don't really like that. I'd rather have decentralized protocols being built by other people and being approved. You know, if they wanted to fund it, by all means, but they're directly involved in these. I'm not happy about that. Do I hold Cardano? Yes, I do. I do hold a whole bunch of Cardano from 2018. I'm still holding it. I haven't dumped it. I still believe in those, but I haven't bought any new coins or anything like this. I don't intend to. Just because of that maths doesn't work. But the amount I hold from way back in the days of 2018, they're worth okay. They pumped. I mean, last time they were worth significantly a lot more. They dumped. I still hold those bags, so let's see what happens, right? But I haven't refreshed any bags. I have taken my initial out, right? It was just a small amount, but I took the initial out during the last cycle, and yeah, I'm just sitting on the. He's wise enough to recognize some of the issues. And I think he's smart enough to actually resolve those issues. And you know, yeah, I think he might just come up with some, because some of the these are blue chip projects, guys. These are blue chip projects, right? These are thinkers, and I respect thinkers. And I think if they know what the issue is, they will come up with a solution to fix that issue. So I think it would, so Sabine says, I think it would take you like weeks to answer chats from 1 million people, or one after the other. Obviously. But you know what? That's when I will promote you guys to be moderators, and you guys could answer the other people as well. How about that, right? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll promote you guys. So Sabine says, exactly. Tokens with a very high supply, there is a ceiling as to how high the price could reach. Unlike Yearn Finance, for example, its ceiling is limitless. Absolutely, because of the low supply, Yearn Finance could now, the coin itself can be worth, each coin. This is so hilarious, right? Understand this. Because of the low supply, 36,000, whatever they have, right? Because of that low supply, each coin could be worth $1 billion, by the way. Each coin, the ceiling, we could say $1 billion, and that only gives us $36 billion. Nowhere near the top 10. Do you know what I mean? So just if we think about it that way, yes, each coin can give us $1 billion. You know, why not? Don't see a reason with that. But remember what I said, right? I know you're bullish. Yearn Finance only gets its value from the use. So you have to use Yearn Finance in order to get the benefit of Yearn Finance. That's how it was designed. Yearn Finance, of course, some people might get lucky by just holding it, but that's not the purpose. Yearn Finance brings more value when you use Yearn Finance, and that's how it did it the first time, and that's how it's going to do it again. So you need to create a supply squeeze, not a hodl, right? You don't hodl it. You got to use it in a way that's proven, and that's going to make the money. So, and yeah, you're right. It is limitless, right? In that sense, right? If you can go to $1 billion a coin, why not? Do you know what I mean? I'll be a billionaire. You'd be a billionaire. Bloody hell, you'd be a billionaire. I'll have a billionaire on my channel. That's a freaking crazy shit, right? But yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So yeah, I mean, if you do become a billionaire, I have a request. I'm planning to buy a Nissan Micra Ferrari Red, right? You know, Nissan, if you're in the UK, you should know, Nissan Micra Ferrari Red, right? Ultra low emission zone exempt, and if possible electric, because then I can also be congestion charge exempt as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's, you're buying me that. How about that? Ferrari Red. Oh my. Guys, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We talked about Cardano. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you need my opinions on? As I said, if I know about it, I'll talk about it. If I don't, I'll just put my hands up and say I don't know about it. Sabine says, I've made some pretty decent gains in 1 month from just hodling it. And good, you should. Of course you should. That's a good thing. As I said to you, if I knew you from the bear market, when we were in the bear market, if you were a subscriber, if you came to my channel and you talked about Yearn Finance, believe me, I would have bought some Yearn Finance. I mean, there are some times where what happens is I forget as well, because you're overwhelmed with so many different coins. You just forget. It's like, oh, there's another coin there that is good. You just forget. So for me, I just stuck with my top 10. I was like, right, I'm just going to stick with them. And all of them have performed well. I'm not saying they haven't. They all performed well. I mean, you know, I don't know how much profit you made, but percentage-wise, some of the bags I'm holding, they're up 300-400%. And some of the other bags I'm holding up like 17, 18, 100%, 1000%. I've done 1000%. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how much you gained from holding that, but that's what I did, because I bought a whole bunch of them during the bear market at the prices we talked about on the video. We picked our coin, we stuck to the coins, and all of those coins gave us at least 300%, if not, right? As I said, the higher level ones, they've given us 16, 1700%. Do you know what I mean? So I ain't complaining. So it's a matter of perception, right? It's a matter of perception, right? What is profit to you and what is profit to me? I mean, in a bull market, if I see a coin only moving 10%, I'm not interested. If I see a coin only moving 50%, I'm not interested. It's a freaking bull market. I should be 2x right now, minimum 2x, you know, minimum 2x, right? And in the bull market, I'm expecting even higher, 3x, 4x, 5x. That's what we do in a bull market. So yeah. One of our friends is not here. He's a whale in what's it called? Crypto.com, Crow coin. He's a whale, and I'm not joking. He's a freaking whale. He got the stuff like when it was like 0 point something, some silly money, right? Owns freaking hundreds of thousands, if not probably 1 million of those coins. And during the bear market, so during the pump, he didn't sell. So when it went high, he didn't sell. He thought it was going to go higher for whatever reason. He didn't sell. So still holding his bags. So he then went into the crypto.com DeFi, and he locked it up on DeFi, and his DeFi started giving him yield back. So he's making a shit ton of money from there. And then when the bear market came in, he actually topped up. He bought more, right? And the ones he bought more, he locked them up and staked them and done whatever. Even they are now up like 5x, right? And then his DeFi stuff, so when he locked it up, he said to me that because of how much he holds, he was earning around $1,000 to $1,200 in yield per month. That's like someone's wages. He was getting that in a month just from holding it. Like, so it doesn't matter if I actually didn't sell the top, I'm actually getting rewarded right now. So he's done all right. Do you know what I mean? So it's all about picking those coins and sticking to them, and then you know, picking it at the right time, obviously. And he's a strong holder because he believes in crypto.com. He's a freaking whale in crypto.com. So that's him. Sabine says, I remember I spoke to this guy in the Yearn Telegram group who bought in at the top. I think the guy spent like 60k and is now now he complains that he is down 90% and calls it dead. It's crazy. Yes, it happens. I know people who bought Bitcoin during 2017. this is a, so I know one guy, he bought Bitcoin about 2 or 3 hours before it crashed in 2017. And the worst part was he was on a plane. So he had no idea the markets just crashed, and he bought it before he jumped on a plane. So he bought it about 3 hours before he went on a plane. He goes to the plane, switches his phone off, has this 8-hour, 9-hour flight, doesn't realize the market's crashed, bled out completely, until he arrives. He switches his phone on, and then he's just realized the entire market's crashed. So then he's hopeful. He's like, oh, it's probably just a normal correction. He sits there and he's waiting for it to come back. And this guy just bought it at like $19,000, $20,000, whatever it was, right? $19,000. And he put a significant amount of money, and he's hoping it's going to come back. It just never came back. It went to all the way to like 3K or something like this stupid, right? And the guy is, distraught, completely lost it. He didn't know what to do. And he said, oh, Bitcoin's dead. And he started talking about how Bitcoin was dead. But lucky for him, it took him a few days until he gathered his emotions and he realized that, okay, hold on, it's going to come back, right? Because he understood. Everyone said, look, bro, it's happened. What are you going to do now, right? You lost a significant amount of money. You are down like 80, 90%. You can cash out because I'll happily take it off you, right? But if I'm willing to take it off you at this price, think about it. And that's how he kind of realized it. He's like, okay, hold on. 9 or 10 BTC, and so he paid a big amount of money. And I was like, and a bunch of other friends we were like, look, we'll take it off you if you need the cash, but we're only going to pay you what the market price is. But understand this, if we're willing to take it off you, then we have belief in it. So ideally, if you can hold, if you can just survive, then just wait for a next bull market will be there. And that's true. Next bull market came, he held it, cashed out, happy days, right? So he done all right. So sometimes it does mess with your head. But if you do have the willpower, then yeah, things will come back. But not all of them, by the way. Yes, the bigger coins, the blue chips, they will come back, right? But sometimes some coins will never come back. They will never come back. But it's a risk that we have to take. And I guess this guy putting 60K at the top of the market because he FOMO'd. He thought it's going to go up to 200K, 500K. No, don't do that. Don't FOMO, bro. And if you do, put a stop loss. Simple. Buy it in a place where you can do a stop loss, right? If you don't, then you're screwed. So, because people who lose money will become haters. But those are the same people who have no plan and no strategy. The amateurs that come into the market are the ones who are going around dissing the market and saying, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is dead. They're amateurs, absolute amateurs. Right? Sabine says he needs to have the co-Jones to hodl it during a bear market. You only lose when you close the trade. Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely lose if you let it go. It is your property, it is your asset, whether it be physical or digital, it doesn't matter. It's your property. So if you can hodl it, great. But obviously, again, I always say to people, you shouldn't be hodling your life savings. You should only ever risk when you buy these assets. So if it's got 60K, I'm hoping it was money he can afford to lose. Never ever invest money you can't afford to lose. That's the worst thing you can ever do. Right? You should always put money down that you can afford to lose, or you can leave aside for 3, 4 years, 5 years. In early days, when people used to come and ask me, bro, we want to buy Bitcoin, we want to buy Ethereum, I used to do a test on them. I used to be like, can you hold this for another 5 years? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, do you need this money for another 5 years? And some guys would be like, yeah, I need it next month. I'm like, don't come into crypto, bro. Don't come into crypto. Your intention is wrong. You're coming here to make quick bucks. Because the reality is the bull market could end tomorrow. And when that does, then you'd be holding for another 4 or 5 years. Are you willing to do that? Oh, no, I'm like, get lost. Don't come here. And then other people who knew about the test, they came and they're like, no, we're going to hodl for 5 years. Fine. If you're investing for 5 years, you don't need that money for 5 years, you'll be fine. The market's not going to bother you. Right? You're just going to be hodling for 5 years, worst case scenario. But that's the intention you have. Also, you should understand that you could potentially lose all of it, right? And if you understand those two risks, you're fine. You're a winner. But if you don't understand that and you think, oh, you're going to make money, you're going to double your money, triple your money because someone else talked about it, go and ask that same person how many bad days he had. Because a lot of people FOMO on information of other people hyping, but those same people will never tell you what the negative things are, right? The negative things are there are times where you're going to have to hodl, right, coins, have full conviction, believe in them for 3-4 years, and then the reality is some of them may never come back. Some of them may never come back. Some of them may be replaced by something completely different, right? That's the reality. So yeah, but true, you know, you only lose when you let go. You know, that's why I'm still bag holding some shit coins that have never come back. I'm still bag holding coins this season that I bought earlier on. I believe they would come. They've done what from the bottom, they've done about 3-4%. So yeah, I'm probably up 3-4%, while the top tier blue chips, they've done, you know, 300-400-500%. Even one, as I said, has done 1,600-1,700%. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And it's also, when you invest, there's a ratio as well. There's a ratio. A lot of people don't understand the ratio. The higher the risk, the higher the reward, right? But also, you should invest the lowest amount into the highest risk, right? The least amount into the highest risk. Because if it's got the higher risk, higher reward, then you know, don't go in with the higher risk on that. Do the lowest risk, because it's always, you know, this is a little maths, right? And then the low risk ones, put more. So for me this season, I've been very transparent about it. Originally, I stuck to BTC. Then I didn't focus too much on BTC. Then I said, right, I'm going to go on Ethereum. I focused on Ethereum. And then I did have Solana, so I was okay with that. And now I'm focusing on Solana. Why? Because I've got enough, and I think Solana is going to outperform the market a lot more. So I want to be in Solana. You know what I mean? Because it'll potentially give me more gains, and it has given me more gains. You know what I mean? So, I mean, technically, if I look at Solana today, the price today, it's at $190 right now. Technically, that's 18x my money. That's 1,800% what I bought it at. You know what I mean? So, hasn't it given me a higher return? So, if I distributed more of my funds to this coin, which I did, right? Didn't I just see a better return? Of course, I didn't see the similar return on the other stable ones, the other top currencies, but it's okay. It balances out, and my average is still high. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at certain things. Obviously, we got like Maxim. He's a Casper holder. He holds a lot of Casper. Bubbles, I think he's left, or probably he's still here. He's probably listening to me. Bubble is a massive, and Bubble, I'm not even joking, Bubble is a massive e-gold holder. So none of you guys try and go scam my brother, but he's an e-gold holder. So, you know, each to their own, right? I'm a massive Solana holder right now. This season, I'm a massive Solana holder. I'm not even joking. This season, I'm a Solana ape this season, right? I saw a narrative. I told about the narrative. I said, oh, doesn't matter what it is. I want to be in this. Because when FTX collapsed, I looked at it, right? I looked at how FTX collapsed, but I realized that the community didn't disband. And I realized that the developers and everything, there was more and more development happening and more wallets being created. I'm like, huh, hold on. So we know Solana had the backing of FTX, of Alameda, whatever, right? And many other institutions. So we know Solana's fairly centralized, or centralized backed, right? But the project just took off. Nobody wanted to let it go. People didn't give a shit. It was bleeding. People were still buying. There was more buys than sells, right? So it bled down. The price bled down, but there was enough buys to hold it back up. I was like, that's a solid project. Guys, don't worry about it. Go and buy it. Don't worry about it. Just buy it. Buy your bags and sit back and relax, right? I don't think Solana's a bad issue. Has got any issues, right? So I reacted. What I preach is what I do. I see Bubble here, says, yep, he's still here. Also my brother. So, you know, I bought it, and I had conviction. I kept on topping up, and I said, right, that's what I'm going to do. And then when we had so I did some Say as well, because Say was like, we bought at 9 cents, right? So Say was really good. That did really good. And I had a target, got rid of Say at $1, and that's it, got rid of it. I do still hold a little bit, but I wanted to take as much out as possible. So I cashed out as much as possible. And then during the dip, I got stopped out of a whole bunch of other coins that I was on. So I had like almost 60 or 70 different coins that I kind of accumulated. And I did all right on some of them, like most of them, I would say. The ratio is, I think 85% of them I did really well. All right. Even if it's a 2x, by the way, I did really well. When I got stopped out of them, I took the cash and I bought Solana. That's it. I bought Solana. I'm going to play Solana. And then I did some Solana memes as well. I talked about it. I don't do memes. So when I did Solana memes, I literally used the profit money to buy Solana memes to increase my Solana holding. And I was completely aware that some of these memes are not going to give me the same return back. If I put half a Solana or one Solana, it's not going to necessarily give me two Solana if Solana also moves. So I knew that, right? So then I kind of changed my strategy. I said, I'm going to do it with USDC. So I did that with USDC because all I'm trying to do is bring more Solana. Now that I see Solana's coming back to go and test that 200 level, because we did go as high as 209. If it does go and test it, 230 is just around the corner, and then 260 is a blip, right? 260 is a blip. Believe it or not, 260 is a blip. So once we go past that, that's a new all-time high. So Solana's going to go on a parabola. And if it does go on a parabola, I want to be in Solana. So right now, I've looked at a whole bunch of shit coins or like meme coins that I did buy and I did have belief. And I think these are good projects. They are trading on exchanges. I looked at them recently on the dump and they were hovering around a certain price. Some of them are down, like, you know, let's just say 20% below. So I'm going to get 20% less Solana than I've invested. But mathematically, there's no point in me holding on to that because I'm not really going to get the amount of Solana that I put in. That's because Solana's pumped, right? And these can't keep up. So I'm not getting the same value. So I decided to go and dump them. I said, right, I'm going to dump them and get my Solana back. Even if I lose 20% of the Solana I've invested, I'm going to get it back. And now if I do want to play with these, I'm going to play with only USDC. And then if they go up and down in value, they go up in the money value, right? So all I'm doing is focusing on how many more Solana I can hold. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a different strategy. It's a crazy strategy, but that's what I'm doing right now because I just want to hold on to Solana because I know what's going to happen. I know there's a chance of it to do a parabola. Now, look, parabola, it might go to 300 and stop. It doesn't matter. It's still better than $10, right? It's still better than $12. You know what I mean? Because that's when we were buying it, right? So I don't know. I mean, think about it. Is better? Isn't it better, right? So that's how I look at it. So yeah, I'm just hoping everybody else sees what I see as well. So that should be quite interesting, you know. But yeah, is there any other question, guys? If there is, great. If not, we've been on it, what, 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 11 minutes. We're doing all right, you know, we're doing all right. I always see someone on this Twitch, but I don't know. Hold on, where are they? Yeah, I always see someone on Twitch, but I can't see their messages. I don't know why I can't see their messages. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know why I can't see their messages. I see someone on Twitch all the time, but I don't know how that works. But yeah. Bubble, do you have anything else to say, my brother? Right. I hope you didn't mind, Bubble, me making that example, right? All I'm trying to say is, look, all of us, we hold certain assets that we have conviction in, right? We have belief in. And it could be for this cycle, it could be for many cycles, it doesn't matter. But each one, we do hold a big bag of something. Do you know what I mean? Sabine says, if you earn did down to 3K, would you consider buying and holding? Absolutely. 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 You mad? Come on, 3K Yearn Finance, definitely. Yearn Finance, we just talked about it, right? Yearn Finance, based on the tokenomics, right? On how many coins there exist, right? And how the coin performs based on the use case and the actions that it does. So it doesn't necessarily follow the market. Yearn Finance has the potential to be $1 billion a coin. We have projects out there, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars. Yearn Finance can do that, right? Even if it's on the third or the fourth or the fifth of the total market cap, that's 80, 70, 80 billion dollars. The Yearn Finance has the opportunity to pump that high, but it will only do that with the use case. So if I did get it, I wouldn't just hodl it, I would be using it. If I got Yearn, if it came down to 3K, I wouldn't even think twice. I'll go and buy one, right? I'll go and buy one and then start using it because that's where I want to use it for my yield, and I also want the price to increase because of that same function. If I don't use it, it won't happen. Bubble says, I'm fine. El Bubble says, I know you, I can't be offered, you are the best. I know you, I can't, I don't know what you mean by that, my brother. If you're saying I'm the best, thank you. You are the best as well, brother. You are the best as well. Honestly, you are the best. Oh, you. Oh, I see. You not offered. You meant I can't be offended. You are the best. I see what you mean. You wanted to say offended. I understand that. Okay. No, thank you very much, brother. I always try my best not to offend anybody. I know sometimes I take names and I try and add this extra flavor, extra spice to the streams. Why not, right? Because you won't find streams like this where people. Because most streams that you find are what people come and do an interview, but it's all pre-record, or like it's not pre-recorded, but it's scripts. You know what I mean? Bunch of people running their scripts, right? I don't do scripts. This is a whole different dynamic to a live stream where I'm literally talking to you guys on a live, answering your questions or whatever. And yeah, I mean, not many people would do that. Sometimes people would just read out comments and then just laugh about it and just kind of move it off. As I said, a lot of people will only read comments that have some sort of a money attached to it or something like this. I don't do none of that. I'm here for all of you guys. Sabine says, if Yearn Finance hits 110,000, that's a literally 3 billion market cap. That's pretty realistic. Yeah, but I'm saying why stop at 3 billion? You know what I mean? We've got shit coins like, meme coins, right? Pepe, and we've got Bonk, and we've got Shiba Inu, and we've got all sorts of other crappy, degenerate meme coins. Dollar market caps. Why should Yearn Finance stop at $3 billion? I can see, I know. Sabine says, I just love ranting on and on about Yearn Finance. I understand that, and it's okay. You're welcome to do so. Right? We don't have an issue here. This channel, we're all inclusive. We all understand, each to their own, right? You've probably understood that I can't stop ranting about Solana, right? Why? Because I believe Solana is going to do something magical, and it has already done a lot of magic. This season, Solana has been the best performer. I don't care how many people come up to me and tell me, oh, that coin did 2,000%. Okay, did it do it while you held it? No. I said, right. So when you buying it, after it did 2,000%, right? Well, I got a coin that did 1,900%, 1,800%, and guess what? I'm holding it. I did 1,900%. Does that make sense? Right? I talked about, what's his name? Say. I bought Say at 9 cents and I sold it at $1. I had an limit order to sell at $1. Right? I sold it at $1. You do the maths. How many X's were 9x? 9x. I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing all right. So I will only talk about coins that I hold, obviously, and coins that I'm passionate about. And you are welcome to talk about your coin as well. I know you love Yearn Finance. As I said, if this was a bear market, I swear to God, I'll go and buy some Yearn Finance right now. But I'm not going to buy it right now. All right, we're in a bull market. I don't do stuff in bull. I don't do fundamentals in a bull market. Right, fundamentals do not exist in a bull market for me. Right, impossible. It can't happen. It's all about pumpamentals right now. We've got to pump the shit out of this, right? Excuse my language, but yeah, we just got to pump it. BTC. So the total market cap right now sitting at $2.57 trillion. BTC tested and broke $70,206. So brilliant. Ethereum following along with 3,600. Solana sitting at $193. Talking about Say's just come back to 84 cents. So let's see what it does. Sabine says Solana has the opportunity to flip ETH someday, probably in the next cycle. Probably. I did a crazy maths, right? And this is my maths, right? Currently, Solana is sitting at, I think, about 70 something or $80 billion market cap. Ethereum sitting like $500 billion market cap or something close to 600. But Solana from here, if it does a 5x, that's 400 billion. That's all right. That's a 5x from 193. That's close to $1,000 of Solana. And it still doesn't have to overtake Ethereum. That's the beauty about it. It doesn't have to overtake Ethereum, right? There are some differences why it can't. Like, again, when we talked about Cardano, it's a similar kind of a thing. It's to do with how many tokens there are. Ethereum right now is doing something quite insane, right? With this Ethereum burning, the fee mechanism, right? Technically, it's a little bit deflationary, and that's helping Ethereum a lot more, right? So the more it deflates, the more the price has a probability to increase, right? Solana has a lot more coins, obviously, But if Solana also introduces a system where they start burning some of this stuff, I think it would be freaking awesome. I think it could shoot up. But again, any coin, I don't see any good top tier coin that doesn't have a potential to go to $1 trillion market cap. We're in crypto, guys. We're in crypto. BTC shouldn't be at $1 trillion. BTC, in my opinion, should be around $10 trillion. Right? There's only 21 million coins, right? Ethereum, I don't know what number it is, but it should be over $1 trillion. Solana could be $1 trillion. Why not? We should have $1 trillion market assets, digital assets, magic money, internet magic money, right? That can come and challenge brick and mortar and institutions around the globe. Because, that's what they're afraid of, by the way. They know that. That's what they're afraid of. That's what the governments want to shut us down with regulations, rules and regulations, and find ways of blocking us, right? Why? Because they know we have the power to do this. Because it's not about just going there. Imagine we go there and we stabilize there. Imagine BTC goes to whatever level, let's say $2 trillion, $3 trillion, right? $10 trillion, but it stabilizes at $1 trillion market cap. That changes everything, right? Ethereum goes and touches or tests and breaks and then stays on $1 trillion. Crazy. Imagine if 10 of those projects we can do that. That's $10 trillion. That's more than BlackRock. And do you think BlackRock doesn't know that? They know that. They know that. Sabin says, not possible, but imagine Shiba Inu exploding to 1,000. I think the market would break. Of course, it wouldn't just break the market. People will commit suicide. If Shiba Inu goes to £1,000 a coin, bro, people are going to be looking for the highest rise buildings in London, and people are going to be jumping off like it's the end of the world, right? Like the whatever. There's a show. I forgot what that show was, with that zombies just jumping off the building. Yeah, they're just going to start. People are just going to jump off and just start killing themselves if Shiba goes there, because nobody can ever believe Shiba going to that number. Even going to $1 or £1, right? It's quite hard for people to fathom that, right? I do see it probably doing it, but I don't think it's going to do it now. We give it a decade. It could potentially do it, but they need to burn a lot of that supply. But the reason I say it could do it is because coins like what's it called? WIF did it. Yeah, I mean, it went to like almost $3, right? Okay, supply wise, it didn't have as much supply, but imagine we hit those levels of supply, it can actually do that. $1,000 maybe not, obviously, but yeah, definitely. As I said, people will start killing themselves. They would jump off buildings. I mean, that might be a way the NWO plan to kill off a whole bunch of people and do some population control or whatever. The conspiracy theory, right? Why not? You know what I mean? Just get some shit meme coins that nobody wants, right? Or everyone disses, and then just pump it to the moon, right? Artificially or whatever, and then get people to just commit suicide. Because that's what would happen. If SHIB does that, it's going to commit suicide. Because there was a time when I was telling people, right, this is hilarious, right? And you might actually find videos. On my channel, there's videos there. I told people, I said, Shiba Inu could potentially hit a penny. All I care is if it hits a penny. If it hits a penny, it's great. So for that plan, just put $100 and forget about it. If you can't afford it, put $10 and forget about it. Here's the fun part. There are some people I know who actually bought $10 worth, and currently that $10 is worth $50, right? They have bought $10 and it's worth about $50. Some guys even more, and they regret, oh, we should have put a little bit more. So those are the guys, if it does go to $1,000, they'll probably be the first to jump off a building, right? Because they don't have emotional control. Something goes, it goes, the most important thing is you don't invest money you can't afford to lose. If you could afford a tenner, put a tenner. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be a billionaire if you still believe that, okay, that's what I can afford to lose today. By all means, only invest what you can afford to lose. Just because you're a billionaire, we don't expecting you to put $1 billion down. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Any other questions, my brothers? Any other questions? We've been here 2 hours and 23 minutes. Any other questions? Fire it away. Sabin Constantine Lango, what do you think about Black Cock Inu? Black Cock Inu, the first time it was mentioned by KR on our Discord group, I think it was. I think it was Discord or some other group, I don't know, because he's in a few groups, right? He mentioned Black Cock Inu. The moment he mentioned it, at that time, I think he did a 2x or a 3x. And he said, brother, I think this coin is quite good. There's a massive community. He's looking at the fundamentals. I said to him, I said, I don't give a damn about the fundamentals. I don't care what it is. Is it on an exchange? He said, yeah. I said, well, that's enough for me. And it was on crypto.com or something like this. So I went and bought like $100 worth. No, sorry, £100 worth. All right. I just left it there. Currently, my balance is about 80 something dollars. Right. So not really that good. But again, it's on a shitcoin exchange, which is fine. I'm not too concerned about it. What do I think about the coin? I really don't care. Just another coin for me, right? They have, tens of coins launching every single day. I'm holding a significant amount for £100, to be honest. I'll be happy if it gives me 120 quid. Do you know what I mean? I'll be honestly happy if it gives me 120 quid, but is it going to come back? I don't know. Because a lot of these projects that launch on the exchange, that's when they suffer the most. But, big but, they suffer the most after the launch or during the launch, right? But then what happens in the next cycle, they do come back. A lot of them do come back, But again, we've got to see what happens. So anyway, I just put £100 in there, right? £100 in there. There's nothing, right? Just leave it there. If it happens, it happens. But it was good for me to kind of observe and see, put £100. It didn't pump anywhere. It just kept on bleeding. Probably it's bleeding because of the market cycles. By all means, I don't have a problem with that. But I think the Inu narrative, but we just need to drop it. You know what I mean? The Inu narrative. I mean, all of a sudden now we've got black chicken Inu. We've had some sort of a cat Inu as well. So we've got also the whole Inu thing. We just need to drop it. Too many people have banked on Shiba Inu's narrative and they've made a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, they made a lot of money, but we need to find a new narrative now. What do you think about ERC 404 coins, such as Pandora? I've seen coin called Unisocks that reach 110k last cycle with circling supply of 300. They're freaking awesome. I've talked to, we've got on our Discord group, one of the members, I won't say his name just in case someone bugs him, but he's a developer and I have actually spoken to him about, what do you call this? I've spoken to him about creating an ERC 404. I know about the technology. I know how it works. I would love to do something with ERC 404. In fact, I would have loved to done something in my immediate project. I did speak to him briefly and I said, bro, I see ERC 404. I would love to do something in that sense where the project that I'm launching, we can enable ERC 404 there with limited supply, but with the NFT itself where it can be converted and reverted and XYZ. He did say he was going to get back to me, but he vanished. So that's been a few months now. So I'm not going to mention anything because I know he does watch the videos. I'm not going to mention anything. Don't want to offend anybody. But I know he is experienced enough, right? And he's an Ethereum developer, Solidity developer. He should know how to implement that. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. And believe me, when I do, other people do, it will be a new thing and everyone's going to do it. But so far, there's a handful of people who are using because remember, the GitHub, it's available on the GitHub, but it's quite confusing because I have been there and I've looked at the code and I couldn't figure out, hold on, where's my NFT? I can see the token part of it, but how do I create the NFT that does this whole mechanism? I just couldn't figure it out. But yeah, they have great potential. But one other thing, just be careful and understand this. And remember, these are truths that have come out. Some of these projects that pump really, really high, it's usually pumped within. So the people who buy know the other people, and they do that to kind of try and fish, like let's just say fishing. They try and bait you in, right? So it does happen. For example, the Everydays, when that was bought for $69 million, later on it turned out that that was done between themselves. They already knew each other. So, they were just getting fame and name in order to continue selling XYZ, but the whole transaction was done between themselves, right? In fact, Sabin, if you want NFTs, for example, that are worth $20 million, $30 million, there are ways that you can have a $20 million NFT and pay absolutely nothing for it. There are actual ways of doing that. I don't want to disclose anything because it is kind of wrong, but that's how the manipulators actually artificially make the prices show up, right? And usually it's between people that know each other, so they're just moving funds, just kind of cycling it through, right? In fact, someone could probably do a multi-call and use one contract to do all of that. But that's what's happening. So the numbers that you see are not 100%. Just be careful. Just be careful. Has zero volume. Yeah. So, you've got to understand how it works. There is a method to it, by the way. There is a method to it. As I said to you, I can make a NFT today, random, some bullshit. Maybe take a picture of some dead tree, right? There's plenty of dead trees here, right? Take a picture, put it for $999 million or $1 billion, and funny, it won't show volume, but I can actually sell it to you, and all of a sudden your wallet will show $999 billion worth of value, but it's not exchangeable. Do you know what I mean? Because now you need somebody else to buy off you, right? I can also put a 10% royalty on it, and if you do manage to sell it to someone for $999 million, then I get a nice chunk of change out of it, and I haven't broken any laws. You know what I mean? This is another reason why regulators around the world are trying to regulate NFTs, because what they've realized is there are genuine NFTs and they're not fussed about those, but there are a lot of manipulated NFTs, overpriced. Like, as I said, they're baiting you, so they'll trade it amongst themselves, they move funds amongst themselves, and it doesn't cost much, right? It depends on what chain you're doing it. You might lose a couple of $100 in fees, but a couple of $100 in fees, if you can actually end up doing making an NFT and showing that people are buying it for $2,000-3,000, and there's enough hype into it, other people will also come and join you, and then they will buy off you. Do you know what I mean? So that's something that they were doing. By losing a few $100 here and there, or maybe even a few $1,000s, they were ending up making hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what they were doing, right? That's the scam. Same thing happens on Solana meme coins as well, by the way. I've seen Solana meme coins with liquidity, I'm not even joking, $1 million liquidity on a fresh coin, $1 million liquidity. So I've gone in and I've looked at that $1 million liquidity, fresh, no one's even bought anything. People start pumping and dumping, pumping and pumping, right? And then I see some guys coming in and putting 10K, 20K, whatever, putting real money in 10K, 20K, and they're buying, they're artificially creating the volume with real money, by the way. And then as the hype kicks off, right? And then when they see a whole bunch of people coming and buying as well, and so for example, the manipulator put 10 grand in, right? And there's $1 million worth of liquidity. So obviously the first person that comes in isn't going to sell anything because he doesn't have anything to sell. So someone comes in and puts 10 grand in, guess what he does? He swipes that entire lot or takes maximum liquidity out. He hasn't lost his 10 grand, right? So now he's ended up taking somebody else's money. He's just taken half the liquidity, to the point where I've seen coins last a few minutes where they've wiped out the entire liquidity, right? So the initial fund that they gave, they took all of that out, and whatever the investors gave within a few minutes, they took that out as well. It's shameful, but that's what they do. And these same organizations or same groups of people are going around doing it, rinse and repeat the whole time. You can't liquidate that amount. Of course not. Of course not. Liquidity is basically genuine buy and sell. So if we do have genuine buys and sells, that's liquidity, the volume, whatever you want to see. That's what it is, right? But as I said, there are people out there who figured out that they can play this game, right? They will give you XYZ amount of money, right? Or they will put liquidity for XYZ amount of money because they know the first few people that might come in, maybe themselves, and they will go and do that, and then they will just wait, like they're baiting you, right? So they'll wait for people to come in and drop some money, and as soon as people drop some money, immediately away. Because if imagine you bought something that's a penny, or let's just say 10 pence, right? 10 cents, right? You bought it and you paid $10,000 for it, and now someone takes away 90% of the liquidity or dumps on you for that price, well, you just bought it for 10k. Well, you can't exit unless it gets back to 10k. So you've become a bag holder. So you're going to wait for other people to come in. But every time someone comes in, they keep on dumping. They don't care what price it is. They're constantly dumping. I can show you screenshots. It's hilarious. On Radium, you can actually, not Radium, sorry, on Deck Screener and Birdseye, you can actually see the actual transactions happening. And what you'll find that there are wallets who never bought anything, all right, but they're dumping high amounts, right? What was that coin called? What was that coin called? There was a coin recently. Book of Meme. Boom. Book of Meme. It's on the exchanges, by the way. I think they even have leverage trading and futures, and not futures, but they have leverage trading for it. Plus on spot markets as well. It's on Binance as well, by the way. Book of Meme. So that particular coin, if you go to Deck Screener, what you'll notice is some of the largest sell orders, like $7 million, $8 million worth of sell orders, was done by wallets that never bought anything. So on chain, you cannot see that they've ever bought anything, because Solana does a great job of tracking how many coins you or what price you paid. And it clearly shows that they've never bought any. So hold on, if you've never bought any, why are you dumping $7 million? And you can see how many times, how many transactions they did. You can track the whole thing, and you can see that they were actually responsible for dumping on people, right, while the money was coming in. So that's what was happening. So yeah, do you have any other question, my brother? Do you have any concerns about you? No, not entirely. I don't have any concern. My only concern is about the market. This is a great narrative, right? I always said this, right? The biggest narrative right now, people talk about AI narrative, this narrative. I don't know. The biggest narrative is it's a bull market. And what we need to worry about and be concerned about is the bull market is going to end. Whether it ends in 6 months or whether it ends in 1 year, it doesn't make any difference. We have to understand it's going to end. That means we are conscious about it. That means we are ready, and we have to be prepared about it, because it could end any second, right? It could end any second. Remember, sometimes we can have a cycle within a cycle. So we could have an entire bull market last 2 years, but we could have an absolute bear run in between that. And that bear run could take us 50% below the market, right? So wherever we are now, we could have a nice 50% dump, right? And still not cancel, by the way. 50% doesn't make it into a bear market. The only time we officially get into a bear market is 51%, right? So we can dump up to 50%. People panic, everyone shits themselves, and then the market recovers and continues in, right? We could have that. So all I'm saying is we need to be prepared at that. Nothing else. I'm not concerned about Yearn Finance. I don't think the technology is bad. I don't think anything's bad about it. I just right now do not see it going to the price it was, because the same narrative isn't there, right? The same kind of users are not there. The people who were there in the beginning, they did it for a reason, right? They did it for a reason. They made the money, they got out. Right now it's gone to the community, and the community needs to do the exact same thing, repeat what they did to get it back to the 100, 200k level. This is one of the reasons why I said that if it was a bear market, if I saw Yearn at $3,000 or £3,000 a coin, I would definitely buy one, right? But instead of me hodling, I would actually use it to replicate what the whales did back in the days. You know what I mean? Because that's the key. The key here is that you got to replicate what they did to increase the value. How did they do it? That's what's important. It's probably still on the horizon. There's no way it just remains at 9k. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. You know, it has to go up or down. He has to make a decision, right? You have to go up or down, right? Like we look at BTC, we look at everything. Everything has to go up or down, right? Currently, BTC is sitting at 70,200. Total market cap sitting at 257. Not concerned. So that's a good thing. Look, BTC has now gone above the resistance point. That's a great thing. We just need to close a candle. So the ones I'm looking at is a 4-hourly candle. If we can close a candle above that, guys, we're in the race again. 70k. You might even see a 73, 74k test at least by the end of the night. You know what I mean? You might see one. If not today, you might see it tomorrow. And probably by Wednesday, we might even be creating all-time highs. Do you know what I mean? So And when that happens, I'm sure the narrative will RA says, I think I'm going to short right now. What are you going to short right now? BTC or Ethereum? What are you going to short? You want to short? Make sure you to do it with a stop loss, because you are going to get wrecked. Let me explain this to you. RA. So I don't do financial advice, right? I'm not giving you a financial advice. It's your money, go and burn it as you wish, right? I'm not going to complain, right? But I will tell you this, right? When BTC goes to, and I'll give you the number, right? I'm giving you the exact number. Get ready to freak out, right? So if BTC goes to 72,409, right? If BTC goes to $72,409, approximately 700 million or billion dollars, $700 million of shorts will be liquidated. Close to $1 billion liquidated. Boom, gone. Of course, the market's going to dip a little bit. Maybe that's when you want to short it, right? But they will get liquidated. They will. That's how many shorts that are showing right now. That will get liquidated. So just be careful, right? Oh, you want to short Yearn Finance? Bloody hell. Oh, sorry, I didn't get it. You said, I think I'm going to short YRN. You meant Yearn Finance. My God. It's YFI, my brother. The ticker is YFI. YFI. Sabine says, who knows? They might be back soon and do that. Sabine says, if BTC hits 250, ETH can easily smash 15 and Yearn possibly past 50 without a doubt. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. That's what we would all love to see, because that's when we make money. Listen, positive thoughts give us positive results, right? So we just need to be positive, and this is good results, right? So if we can see a 250k BTC, why not? If we can see a 15k Ethereum, why not? But what you missed there, brother, what I'm not happy about, you're talking about Yearn Finance going to 50k. What about Sol? Bro, what about Sol? You can't leave Solana behind, right? Remember, I'm a freaking Solana bull right now. Can't leave Solana behind. So it's got to be BTC 250, Ethereum 15k, Yearn Finance 50k, Solana 5k. How about that? Right? So RA says, I might buy some more Sol. Up to you, my brother. I don't know if Maxim's here. The other day, Maxim was talking about Casper, and I hope Maxim doesn't mind, right? So he was talking about Casper, and then he said to me something. He said, "Look, I've got about $2,500 spare lying around. I don't know what to do with it, right? I'm not sure what, to cash in or do whatever X, Y, Z." So I said, if BTC goes below a certain level, if BTC goes below a certain level, and if we see Solana at a certain level, and it confirms, then he buy. And then market pumped a little bit, and I just kept quiet, didn't say nothing. And then the following day, I actually sent him a message. I said, now's the time to actually get into Solana. So if he did, he would have bought Solana, I think around 160 something or $70. So he's up like $20 a coin right now. So I don't know. He's probably done well. So yeah, I mean, not giving financial advice. Obviously, I don't give financial advice. Sold to 1k. 1k is cheap, bro. So 1k, I want 5k sold. I want 5k. So I am long on Yearn. I will never short it. Similar, I don't. Okay, I do. Listen, I won't say that. So back in the days, I used to be how would I say this? I used to be one of those kind of guys who would only long BTC, right? Who'd only long BTC. But these days, I don't really care. If I see the market's worth shorting, then I'll short it. You know what I mean? I'll short it. It doesn't matter to me, right? Also, I'm getting some calls that I have to answer. Remember I told you that I got some meetings, so I'm going to have to answer this call. It's about 5 p.m. right now. I am going to answer this call. So today, I'll tell you what, let's call this. It's almost about 3 hours. Let's do this. We're not going to do a live stream later on, because I've got a call coming through, so I'm going to have to answer that one. Very important. And then later on, I got the meeting, so I'm going to have to prepare for that as well. So we'll do that as well. All right. But it's been awesome. Thank you very much to all of you guys for coming. So okay. Sabine says, shush to all the bears when we peak. Of course, right? But anyway, it's been an awesome stream. Thank you very much for all of you guys for coming to the show. It's been fantastic. This is 0xfiles. My name is Sham. The truth is always out there. We had great fun today. A very interactive YouTube stream today indeed, right? With the microphone issues and XYZ, and then moving locations to get the network and everything. And we had a bunch of fun on conspiracy theories. I hope nobody got offended. And, you know, I hope you all like the content. I know a lot of people may not watch this until this last second word, 2 hours and 44 minutes to get this message. But if you do, thank you very much for watching it to the end, right? If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, smash that like button, share with one another if you find value. Let's grow this community. That's all I can say. RA says, see you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, all my brothers, for coming here. I appreciate that. Let's catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos. Thank you.